don't think it's going to be this 5-0 or 5-1 like someone was telling me earlier.
What did I say on Monday when FUAD was talking about honeymoon?
The real business begins the next 2 weeks, I say. The honeymoon period is nice and we've enjoyed, so that's get sick.
Now you're about to get sent home in an Uber. That's what you're about to do this week.
Saliba's been good today, man.
Saliba was good today.
Okay. So was Gabriel.
Saliba's good. 2 goals conceded at home to Tottenham, giving the ball away 3 times. Put it on them. We're not even putting it on them. Shit, bro. Absolutely shit. Yeah, bring on that Mill. Why not? 4 minutes to go.
How are we going to catch City, bro?
City were 11 points behind us last season. I know it makes it be a different beast.
Don't do it to yourself, bro. It's meant to be very different times. If these times are to be believed, then we should be wiping the floor with Tottenham.
Hey, I didn't see that Saliba clip. AFTV are slick. I didn't see that Saliba clip. Oh, well done. Saliba's been good. You pussy-o. You fucking... What the hell? You said we were going to get... You fucking pussy-o. Yeah, hold that. The thing is, I don't even want to come off like, oh, I'm doing a mad thing over a draw. I'm not. Like, I'm happy we got that. I'm happy that we competed and I'm calm with a draw. But I'm seeing a lot of your fans saying, oh, Spurs fans are over-celebrating a draw. No, we're not over-celebrating a draw. Expressions hit the nail on the head. What we're doing is we're pamming you overconfident Arsenal fans that made it look like you were going to come there and wipe us off the park, that you're going to be playing some Leeds Bielsa Rebo. No. So you better fucking hold that, bro. And I want to see the prediction table at the end of this stream, because I must be close to you. I must be close to you. Yes or no?
Are you really bothered about that over what we're going to talk about?
You're close.
Okay. Idiot boy. Carrie, you was doing such a good job.
Okay, no. I'll let Fuad start off with the Tottenham talk. I'll let Fuad start off with the Tottenham talk, yeah? Cool.
Act like you belong here, though, man. It's the Big Six, 2-2 draw away from home. We don't celebrate that in the Big Six.
I'm not celebrating the draw, brother. I'm celebrating you being mudded. You said you're going to beat us 5-1. The game ended 2-2. Did you not see how you were flapping on that AFTV stream? Right, man, I'm telling you that Saliba's played well, and your head was so kettled that you're literally clapping. That when it's 2-2, kettled, bro. Poor Cecil. Cecil's trying to interview you. He's just trying to get an honest answer out of Turkish. Oh, don't do that to me, Cecil. Oh, Cecil, don't do that to me. It's you that's kettled, brother.
If I get kettled on the watch along, you should have saw me on Forever Arsenal. I was going in on that dog that's in the team photo, mate.
He said nobody's safe.
no human, no animal, no one was safe yesterday.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, here we are, people. It's the Big Six, where you get clipped for draws while someone in the bottom left corner gets away with it for a second week in a row after losing at home at the Bridge. It's all mad, but the big dogs, you know, we understand. We take the priority. So here we are. Make sure you hit the like button, get it up to 1,000 likes. Make sure you're subscribed. And FUAD, over to you, since TOBS initially jumped in with his Tottenham hype.
Well, listen, I feel like the Tottenham hype it's funny because, as TOBS said, to be fair, it was a funny game. Because coming into it, I think a lot of Spurs fans were kind of nervous, thinking, hey, yo, even me, I can't lie to you, I predicted a loss. Was it 2-1, I think I predicted. But that's only because of the 1-in-30 record that we've got over there. I think every Arsenal fan kind of coming into this thought, yeah, this is going to be a kind of a cakewalk, if you like. The early fixtures that we had, I said last week when I was on here, listen, that was kind of honeymoon period complete. You know what I mean? Bournemouth, Burnley, limping United, Brentford, a couple good results there, I said, but the next 2 weeks is where the serious work begins. And in that North London derby, I'm sorry, we were the ones that came and actually put in serious work, in my opinion. That first 15 minutes, the way I felt like we just kept playing out of the back, no fear. In previous North London derbies, within the first 20, 30 minutes, bro, our asses have caved into our stomachs. But with this one, we even conceded the first goal. So it's a case of rotted. This is the moment of capitulation beginning. And you saw it 2 seconds later, was it, when Maddison lost the ball in front of Jesus and after that moment come, you almost saw, in my opinion, like a different Tottenham, because where normally our stomach fall out of our asses, we actually showed some character, got back into the game straight away, and both the end of the first half and the start of the first half, I thought we were the better side. So walking into that halftime, I'm kind of thinking, right, what's going on here? Like, we've actually turned up and looking like the better side. I know some Arsenal fans felt they were the better sides, but outside of Saka getting the ball free on the right a few times, I don't think Arsenal really created anything kind of really clear cut. Then the second half is about to begin, and I see Jorginho and Havertz. Brother, I knew it was game over from there, in my opinion, because I said the game is going to be won and lost in midfield. Basuma and Maddison were already having a good game in the first half. In the second half, they went up another level because Rice is now not there, and now you've got these two physically fragile brothers that are basically going to come here and get bullied. And even though both your goals, you look at it, one came from a penalty, one came from deflection. Even after the second one, the way we reacted a minute later, that's not very Tottenham-like at the Emirates, if you like. So, for me, that's what I'm walking away with. The honeymoon period happened, and this was supposed to be kind of the bubble burster. We're supposed to be big scared of the Emirates. And I walked away from it thinking, yo, Ange might be real, you know. So I'm curious to actually hear what you thought of the game, because it seems that a lot of Arsenal fans, when I'm talking to them, Spurs apparently don't deserve any credit in this game whatsoever. The only reason why Spurs apparently are drawing is because Arsenal didn't finish their chances. Declan Rice got injured. Some of the players didn't turn up. And in my opinion, I'm like, that's bullshit. We were brilliant on the day. We came and did our job. And then on the other end, Arsenal, I'm sorry, Arteta got it completely wrong. With substitutions, with decisions. I felt like individuals didn't turn up as well for Arsenal. Well, we could deep dive into them. But on the Spurs aspect, bro, the manager and every man to a T, I felt like played their role. Son, clinical finishing. That's what we need. Maddison, showing once again why he's a front runner for signing of the season, in my opinion. Sarr and Basuma carrying on doing what they're doing. But at the back, Van der Ven and Vicario deserve a special mention, in my opinion, because Vicario, I felt like, pulled off a couple of big saves. One in the first half was it against Jesus, just on the side. In the second half, there was one or two as well. But Van der Ven, I felt, shut up everything. And even Romero, people want to talk about, he's rash and he gave the penalty away. Aside from those two little errors, which I feel like can happen to any centre-back, bro, I still felt like he had a solid game. Like, your team weren't able to really create much. We nullified the midfield. The attack looked kind of blunt, if I'm honest. And I'm sorry, we just looked like the better side. And in the end, honestly, I was disappointed to not walk away with the 3 points. Forget the draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Sorry, go on.
What'd you say?
Should I go, or do you want to go?
No, but go. You go, and then I'll go after you go.
Yeah, because I guess FUAD gave his game review first, so I want to give mine, because I actually think, I'm not gonna lie, I actually think Arsenal were, for me, much the better side in the first half. I felt like for the first 35 minutes, we weren't really in that game. Like, I felt like we were still, FUAD is right, we were brave, we were trying to play out from the back a lot, but Arsenal's press was really good, and it caught us out on a couple of occasions. And I felt like Arsenal had, so I remember Destiny, I think he had a sloppy first half, Destiny. He gave a sloppy blind pass that put Nketiah through in. Good save from Vicario. And then I remember Maddison got caught in our box by Jesus and he missed that chance as well. But I think what FUAD said was right in the sense where we didn't stop playing the way we wanted to play. Like, even when we were making mistakes, we were still trying to play out from the back, still trying to suck Arsenal in and still trying to sort of build from back to front. And I feel like even though we weren't really in the game for 35 minutes, I felt we've really finished that first half strongly. And I felt like in that sort of 10-minute period plus the 4 minutes injury time, we created significant amount of chances. I remember 2 chances for Brennan Johnson. Obviously the Son goal as well. I felt like we played some good stuff in the end of that first half, and then I felt in the second half, for me, I think the changes really hampered Arsenal. Really hampered Arsenal. I felt like Rice going off was huge, was really huge, because I felt like Rice in the first half was having a good game, in my opinion. And I think the drop off from Rice to Jorginho from a defensive standpoint is scary. It's absolutely scary. And that Kai Havertz guy, listen, if I was, listen, you know my thoughts on Havertz. I've been saying this for 2 years since we've been doing this show. I think he's absolutely awful. And of course, when he came on the football pitch, he made minimal impact, like nothing, absolutely nothing. But I don't want to just put it on to those midfielders that came on. I think players not turning up is true. And I think Arteta has to be, I didn't understand why Gabriel Jesus went off and then Nketiah stayed.
Yeah.
Look at Fabio Vieira. So Fabio Vieira wasn't like on the ball.
We're losing him to the waves.
My internet struggling.
Waves catching. Yeah, you're having this like it's you. I think if you was hiccuping, we'd hear you better. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie.
Is it back now?
That's
Is it back now?
I think you're sailing through the Bermuda Triangle right now. This is the Bermuda Triangle right now.
You're back.
Am I back now?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. So like just on like Maddison as well. Like Maddison, I feel like first half he was a bit. When you have a quality player like that, when he has the opportunity to make a difference, he will make his authority on a game. And I think that's something that Odegaard didn't do yesterday. And that's Odegaard's home turf. Like Maddison, that's what we bought him for, right? 45 million. Bargain value. Like when he was put in the positions where he could influence Spurs, he did so. 2 assists, right? And I feel like with our team as well, I don't think like that was an amazing game that we played, but I felt like we were definitely good value for the draw. I think we definitely showed. When I look across our performers on the day, like SAEED was obviously going to talk about Romero, but I'll ask you this: 10 times Romero kicks that ball.
Brother's underwater.
It goes into the other end of the pitch.
That'd be you. You relax.
Yeah, you're underwater.
Yeah, you relax.
Say that again there, Tobs.
So carry on, Tobs. Sorry, yeah.
I said that Romero, like people are trying to pretend that he had categorically bullshit. It's like it's rubbish. Fine.
No, but my thing was there, Toby.
No, wait. Let me finish.
Yeah.
Wait. My thing with Romero is the things that happened to him when so clumsy or bad defending. One was a deflection that literally 9 times was a dubious penalty. Like the penalty one, I don't really understand where defenders are meant to.
He did the same thing against United.
I can understand.
He did the same against Man United. Do you know that, by the way?
Wait,
Yes,
what are you suggesting Romero does there in that position? Can I ask you, Saeed?
It wasn't a penalty.
I think for me,
I just want to
look at Romero. His rush. For me, is a liability.
No. Don't deflect.
I'm saying how it is, man.
What did you do that was so rash?
In that scenario, when his
so rash?
You mentioned United.
You are in the box.
What is he supposed to do in that situation?
Don't put your hands out. Simple as that. Don't put your hands out. I'm sorry. You're in the box. You are in the box. And he's got his hands out. Yeah.
I can tell you have
basically trying to find an advantage. No, I'm not trying to hold it in. But he's a liability. No, hold on a minute. Toby, I called him. I talked about Romero being a liability in certain situations. And for me, that moment, and for me as well, when you look at the own goal, yeah, I get it, it's a mistake or whatnot. But when you actually deep it, yeah, in the big moments, he is a liability. And that's why I questioned about Romero. It was rash, it was silly. He didn't need to put his hands out there. It's as simple as that. He did it against
sorry.
He did it against and it could have cost you.
I don't think you know what.
So I'm sorry.
Saeed, sometimes I actually don't think you know. It's rash and stupid. No, wait. It's rash and stupid for his arms to be out when he's sliding for a ball.
No, when he's in the box, and he's got his arms like that. He did the same thing against Man United. So he knows what he's doing.
So what if he did the same thing? If a defender,
what do you mean? What he's done the same thing against United?
So what?
What do you mean? So what? Because it's Romero. Because he had this affinity. Because he want to protect him. It's so what? He can't make mistakes, so he's not a liability. He can't do this because it's Romero. The protection you have, hold on a minute. I've heard you, Waffle. The protection this guy has over Romero, that he can do no wrong. That you know
You're
when
such a
it
liar.
comes to big.
You're such a liar. You're such a liar. You're such a liar. Do you know
Toby's
why you're a
going.
liar? Do you know why you're a liar? Do you know why you're a liar? Because last season I came on here repeatedly and I said when he played back, I said to you that he was poor last season. I said that. And it's all over my Twitter. I was even inciting violence on this guy. So for you to say that I can't be objective for Romero is bullshit.
No, hold on a minute. I'm talking about the context of the situation here. Because you're talking about the 2 points here. I said he did it against United and I said he did it here.
Let me finish. You are talking absolute nonsense here. A defender's job is to defend. The Arsenal player has struck the ball. He's trying to slide to block the shot. He's not trying to use his arm to block the shot. He's trying to slide to use his body to block the shot, as most defenders do, as Ruben Diaz has done many times, as Pepe's done many times, as Ramos has done many times. For you to say that it's rash, that he's sliding for the ball hits his hand, you're basically insinuating that he's purposely put his hand out for the penalty. It's nonsense. And my issue with this isn't just
to gain an advantage. He did it against Man United and he thought he could get away with it.
My issue with this isn't just down to Romero. I've been saying this shit for 4 or 5 years now. I remember when they introduced the rule into the Champions League. You remember it as well because you were a beneficiary of this rule against PSG. You got a last-minute penalty against PSG when you knocked them out of the Champions League. I think it was Lukaku or Rashford that shot the ball. Kimpembe is slid for the ball in his box. Where is he meant to put his arms? You get awarded the penalty. I remember in that same season, we played Man City. We beat them 1-0 out of ground. Danny Rose slid for the ball. Again, his arm is up. Where is he meant to put the ball? He gets a penalty. My issue isn't just specific to Romero. I hate seeing penalties being given for those challenges because what is a defender meant to do in that situation? What are they meant to do? So don't tell me about no rash nonsense because his passing, 93% pass accuracy. He had no problems passing out from the back.
I'm not talking about that.
No, wait, because you said he was rash and silly. He handled Nketiah yesterday.
We're deviating off the game now, though.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry to make a quick point. But obviously, you know what I mean? Toby's
let them land. They got the runway there. Let them land. We've got time.
No, don't worry. We'll get back onto Arsenal. But if you're trying to run this narrative that, Romero.
No. I just said he's a liability. That's all I said.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did Lisandro get dropped this weekend? Yes or no?
Sorry?
Did Lisandro Martinez get dropped this weekend for 20
He's injured.
Oh, he's injured. Oh, that same old chestnut. He's injured. Quotation marks. He's injured again.
He's actually factually injured. The manager said that.
On a yellow card.
The manager actually said
injured.
that.
He's not fucking injured. He's not fucking injured. He's been fucking pammed to oblivion this season. He's been blammed to dust, and that's why he's.
So you're saying? No, he's actually injured. I'll tell you right now, he's injured. That's why he didn't play.
He's not fucking injured. He's not fucking injured. He's playing shit, and he ain't got the run to hold his hands. He's getting blammed from left to right to centre. He's getting blammed all over the gap.
Can I interject? Listen, I think we're talking about the wrong. We're talking about the wrong centre back, right? Because Van der Ven, when are we going to give him his flowers? Guy's 21 years old. First North London derby, playing out from the back under pressure, right? New surroundings, new left back to work. The whole back line is basically new outside of Romero and the goalkeeper. This guy comes in, he's composed, he handles his business. I was very impressed. For someone that didn't know too much about him before he came in, I thought he was excellent. So I think he needs to get his flowers personally.
It's mad, isn't it, how Liverpool scout these players and put them in the other people's eyes and then other people.
How have you made it about you? How is this possible? Why didn't you sign him?
Yeah. Come on, man. You
why didn't you just sign him?
Did I say something that offensive? What's going on?
Why, if he's so good and you knew this, why didn't you just sign him?
Brother Toby asked me about him a few months back when we were linked with him, and I said, and then they were linked with him because we gave up on him and said he's not right for us. Maybe we made the wrong decision because right now he looks good. But I'm gonna leave here with something.
Listen, he was good. So Cam just asking what I'm drinking. I'm drinking a drink called a Miami Vice, right? Cool. So,
yeah, man.
You're not supposed to actually say.
So Van der Ven was really good. And I'll be real, ever since he stepped into the team, he's been fantastic for Tottenham. Because me and FUAD, we do our show and we do our ratings each week. And each week, this guy's not getting below a 7 out of 10. Like, he's been really good for Spurs. But I also want to shine a spotlight on Vicario, a goalkeeper who a lot of people were quick to try and throw mud on his name. They're trying to tell us, oh, he'll after 1 or 2 shaky moments against Brentford, they're trying to tell us that this guy, he's not good enough. He's not this, he's not that. And this guy has been big for Tottenham. He's made big saves in countless games we've played this season. And when he actually gets the ball, whilst his passing is still in progress, like it's a work in progress. He doesn't treat the ball like a hot potato. He still allows us to play out from the back with freedom and with confidence. So the same way we're giving props to Van de Ven, I want to see props given to Vicario, and I damn sure want to see props given to Pedro Porro. I really do. I must hear it.
I mean,
I agree.
Look, obviously, first thing I want to do is I'd rather start with Tottenham, because I think Tottenham deserve the credit for that, because I'm not like these other Arsenal fans you spoke to who had that think we had the better game. You don't have the better game. People can break out the amount of chances or good chances we both had, and yeah, it might be equalish, but at the end of the day, you lot are the away team in a North London derby. I can't lie, Ange, he does look, let me not say the real deal in terms of titles and all that, but he looks the real deal in terms of a manager that you can believe in, a manager that has a way of going about things and an aura. In the pre-match and post-match press conferences and interviews which I've seen him in, he carries himself so well. He speaks so well about football. He's humble, but he came to the Emirates and Tottenham had more possession. You had the equal amount of shots. I think we had one more shot on target, or you had one more shot on target. I forgot which way around it is. But that, to me, when you look at that on paper, Tottenham had the better game. When you watch it and give it the eye test, I'm with Tobes. In the first 30, 35 minutes, Arsenal had the better game. And that Jesus chance should have been 2-0. And if it is 2-0, it's a different game. If it goes 2-0 there, or we hold on to the 2-1 a bit longer after the penalty, I do think we run away with the game. But that big chance missed, and then Tottenham getting control. Tottenham had 65% possession from the 35th minute till the end of the half. 65% possession. I don't know what's going on with Arsenal at the moment, because one thing our whole philosophy seems to have been based on, more so this season, and I'm hearing Arsenal fans in the first few games, Havertz has been brought in to get more control of a game. Partey's been moved right back to more control of a game, and all these decisions have been made to get more control of a game. But so far this season, we ain't been in control. Yes, you can look at possession stats more often than not, or yes, you can look at pitch tilt or field tilt or whatever people look at nowadays and make an argument. But what if you watch with your eyes, Arsenal don't really have the Everton game from minute 1 to 90, controlled that game fully. But Fulham, Palace going down to 10 men, Man United, now Tottenham, these are all games where we've been out of control at various points in the game. And that is a big problem for us. Now, I can't lie, Tottenham surprised me. I thought Tottenham would come and would play his game, and that would play into our hands.
We've, is just from a neutral point of view.
One second. And came, played the way he wants to play, and played better than us. So he didn't play into our hands. He done exactly what he wanted to do, and it worked for Tottenham. And it's frustrating. Listen, we ain't lost the game this season yet. We've got 1 point less than we did last season at the same point. These are all things that can make us feel better. But the reality is, when you look at the amount of big chances created in the season, when you look at chances created overall, when you look at these metrics that modern day fans want to look at, we're not up there. I think Chelsea have created more big chances than Arsenal this season, if I'm not mistaken. From the last graphic I've seen, Chelsea have created more big chances than Arsenal. So there's a problem there tactically behind the scenes. Now, Mikel, he had a howler. He had a howler by playing Eddie up top and moving Jesus out wide. And he had a howler taking Vieira off at halftime for Havertz. And he had a howler taking Jesus off instead of Eddie and Nketiah. Because Eddie did absolutely nothing that whole game. Havertz came on and did nothing for the 45 minutes. To be honest, we was worse in the second half than we was in the end of the first half. So those changes essentially fucked us. So I'm pissed off. I can't lie. This is not the end of the world, but it's Tottenham. We're 4 points behind City now as well. So even if I take away the City stuff and don't look at a title race or don't look at the league table, we've just dropped points to Tottenham at the Emirates. We dropped points to Fulham at the Emirates. These are two teams we got 3 points off last season, and we still fell short come the end of the season. That's my problem with it. We have to turn round the draws and losses from last season into wins. So far this season, we've turned wins into draws. We ain't catching City like that. And that's my problem with it, because this Havertz signing, whether he's starting the game or coming off the bench, Bro, I can't believe after the 2 years we've been doing this show and the amount of times we've ripped Kai Havertz to Matisse that Arsenal Football Club went and signed him. I can't believe that. That's prime banter era Arsenal. Like that's a move out of 2017 or 28, whenever it was, that prime ban. What we've done there is madness. And with Eddie Nketiah, I'm sorry, I've said it multiple times before. You man know he's not good enough to be at Arsenal Football Club, let alone not starting, let alone as a backup. He is not good enough. And overall, I can't lie. I've spoke to lead judges, Laurie on the watch along. Towards the last 10 minutes of the game, they said they'll take a 2-2 draw. And as much as I disagreed with that, I understand why they said it, because who looked the likelier to score at the end? It was still Tottenham. We didn't create one chance in that second half. Saka had the shot in the final few minutes where Vicario made a save from just outside the box. We didn't create a single chance against Tottenham in the second half at the Emirates. That's why I start with the credit for Tottenham, because you lot deserve credit for that. But at the same time, Arsenal, they also deserve criticism for the way we went about it.
I agree. I think you're giving.
You know, you see, like, I'm hearing injuries, and like I hear Partey's out. Bryce came in, obviously got injured. But is that the reason why you lot look so different this year? Because I feel like even on the ball, you lot just don't look the same like you did last year. And I said when Havertz came in, I thought Arteta was going to try and force him in the midfield so much it's going to undo the kind of all the good work you've done last year. But then I remember he started the season, Partey at right back, Ben White wasn't starting, Gabriel wasn't starting. Then Ben White's come back in now, and all of a sudden he's not overlapping the same way he was last year. Like, things were different. It just seems like I remember when Zinchenko was giving up lectures like, yeah, when I go on the inside, is my winger gonna follow me? Kulusevski had a very lovely day, brother. He had a very lovely day on that game, bro. You know. Kermit the Frog, I'm sorry, you need to do your job a little bit better. But is that on Arteta this year if it doesn't look how it looked last year? Or
100
injuries? There's a lot on Mikel this year. Like the Havertz signing is one where we can take a step back and say, okay, man, don't understand it, but we'll see what it does. But tactically, there's something changed, because that Ben White overlap, I don't understand why that's changed. I don't understand why Saka doesn't get that anymore. There's definitely something behind the scenes. And I said it in the summer. I said, listen, we've just challenged for a league title, whether you believe we challenge or whatever. We came close to a league title last year, 85 points, our best season for a very long time. But I said this might not be Arteta's final form in philosophy. He's still young. He's still 3-4 years in. Maybe there's an added on development phase. So far this season, that added on development phase has taken us backwards, because like I said, forget the performances all round for a second, the fact we've scraped a few and we haven't really played as good a football as last season. I'm going to go back to, we ain't fluid. We ain't creating chances. Now, the one game Jesus started up top happens to be the PSV one, and people could argue that it's PSV, they're Dutch. They don't tend to change up the way they play when they come away from home against any team, in their league or in Europe. But with Jesus up top, we're a far, far better team than Eddie Nketiah up top. So I think there's a lot of Mikel.
What change would you have made though? Because Trossard was injured. No?
This is what I'm going to say. If Reece Nelson started on the left, Jesus up top, and Saka on the right, we beat Tottenham. 100%.
You know what? Because I didn't understand Jesus coming off, and the thing is, Jesus though in himself, like I thought he caused us problems, but Jesus is just not clinical. He had his big moment. Well, he won the ball back off Maddison. He completely fluffed. He always does. He's a serial when it comes to missing gilt-edged chances. But I think on Arteta and some of the players that came on, there has to be some criticism on some players that started, right? Odegaard was anonymous, bro. He got pammed. He got pressed into a pancake, Norwegian pancake, the other day, because he just couldn't deal with the physicality of Pape Matar and Bissouma. He could not do it. Like every single duel, the guy's coming off worse. And even elements of his game that you expect Odegaard to be much better at in terms of his care of the ball. Like, he's someone who's meant to offer Arsenal more control. The guy's having like 64% pass accuracy. He was not in that game at all. At all. He was bad. He was really, really bad. And I feel like if he has a bad game with no party, with no party, with Vieira substituted, your midfield can't function the way it needs to, especially with Rice substituted as well. He struggled, and it wasn't just him. Ben White, I felt like he didn't have a good game as well. And obviously you've mentioned Nketiah as well. And then of course the subs obviously exacerbate the issue. But like, I think some of your bigger players need some criticism for yesterday as well, man.
Now, Odegaard on the ball, especially after he got the yellow card. That's probably one of, if not his worst performance in an Arsenal shirt, especially in the big game. That first 15 minutes before he got the yellow, I think he was our best player because he was the one leading the press. He was the one, I won't say penning Tottenham back because Tottenham played very well at the back. He was playing football. You know, you came to the Emirates and you played football. There was very little long balls. You played through us and you found success in playing through us a hell of a lot, especially from the back. But Odegaard, that first 15, our best player. After he got the yellow card, he blended in with the rest of them. When Rice went off at halftime, our midfield was gone. To be honest, we was losing the midfield battle at the end of the first half, especially anyway, let alone when Rice come off. So, you know, back to Fuad's injury thing. Yeah, injuries have, you know, been a problem for us in the last couple of games. We've got 2 left wingers out and 2 midfielders out in Rice and Partey now. But I don't want to use it as an excuse because we are some way into this process and we've spent quite a lot of money now. I expect our debt. You know what? You know, all the things that flooded back yesterday. I said to myself, hold on. Why give Reece Nelson a new contract if you don't trust him? Because it's evident you don't trust him because you would have started. Why didn't you sell Emile Smith-Rowe and get a 30-40 million for him, and then you could potentially buy another attacker or buy another position to add that depth? Because Reece Nelson and Emile Smith-Rowe, they're on the bench. 75th minute, we need a goal, we need a spark, and he's slow to react. So for me, that indicates you don't trust these men like you should. So in this summer for us, off the back of our first title challenging season for a long time, why weren't these difficult decisions made? And I know people say homegrown rule and whatnot, but go get a homegrown talent that you will trust and you will play, because we needed something yesterday and we didn't have it. I'll refer back to the striker as well. I wanted a different profile of striker. In the last 10 minutes of that game, where you'd expect the better team, the favourites, the home team, to take a grasp, you know, both hands around the neck, take it to the team, opposing team. We did none of that. I was crying out for a fucking striker to be in the box and just throw it, like just you know, loft it in there and let's see what we can do. We don't have that. So I can't sit here and say that in the 4th season of this process, not having a plan B is acceptable. It's not acceptable. We are not Man City. Mikel's not Pep. He will never have the resources Man City have, and Man City have a head start in terms of experience and mentality at the top end of not just domestic football, but European football now too. We cannot afford to not have a plan B. It showed a few times last season with the Everton 1-0 loss. Brentford 1-1 in a way, even though Trossard come off the bench last season to get that goal for us and put us in the lead. But how can we not have a plan B in our 4th season after spending this much money? I don't. People will argue modern day football, it's not about a plan B, it's about a plan A2 or a plan A3 and all of this nonsense. No, sometimes you need to go back to basics and do something different, because everything we did yesterday against Tottenham, nothing changed on the pitch. Whether it's a half-time substitution, a substitution in the last 15, or one in injury time with Emile Smith-Rowe coming on, none of them had an impact on the game.
I was going to say, you see, what does it mean for the process if Arteta this season ends up trophyless? And in the terms of, like, I felt like the 2 years before last year, there was a lot of pressure on Arteta to deliver some positive. Last year, all right, you nearly got there. This was meant to be a year of kicking on. You spent heavy again. You've got the strength and depth. He's got everything he's needed there. If this season he ends up, let's say, hypothetical trophyless, where FA Cup he's out of it, Champions League he comes nowhere close. What does that mean, A, for his future and in his process as well? I know it might be too soon after a North London derby draw, but I'm just thinking way ahead.
It depends on how we don't win the league. I guess the answer to that question is, if we finish second and we challenge again, then I can understand that, because City are favourites and City must every year because of who they are and what they are. But if we finish fourth, if we finish fifth and still make Champions League, but regress on what we've done last season and not bag a trophy this season, then there's big question marks. I won't answer the question out right now because it's fresh off a North London derby, and I'm not even envisioning that, because over the years Arteta has done good enough work for me to be here vexed that we're 4 points off Man City at the top of the table. I need to take a step back and understand that he's brought us to this place where I'm vexed at not being closer to Man City at the top. But the reality is, the further we drift, and if we end up in a scrap with a Tottenham or a United, or I won't say Liverpool, because Liverpool have been a great team over the years, a United, a Tottenham and so on, Brighton and whatnot, for a top 3, top 4, top 5 position, unacceptable. That is unacceptable. And I expect people to be held to account, whether that means at the end of this season, the manager, depending on our success or lack of success, his job's on the line, or whether it means that he's on a last chance saloon if this Havertz deal doesn't work. And next season, I mean, at the end of this season, we don't win anything, we come close, then the start of next season will be intense for Mikel Arteta. But if we drop off to 4th, 5th, I'm looking at this season and this summer and saying, bro, you had 65 million to spend on the 8 and you bought Havertz. I'm seeing Liverpool buy Szoboszlai. We could have got Szoboszlai. I'm seeing even McAllister, even though they sorted that one out early. MATISSE. I'm seeing 8/10s go to rivals and other teams that shit all over Kai Havertz. That was a big decision for Mikel Arteta to make. And I think it's one of those decisions that if it doesn't work and everything falls apart, then everyone will look at that decision as the main factor behind it.
Listen, I said, I don't want to talk. Obviously, we kind of talked a lot of it, but I said it, man. I said it to Arsenal fans. They lost the swagger, man, and they got rattled, mate. You know what I mean? I put it on Twitter. I said, Arsenal have lost their swagger, man. I don't think it's the same kind of feeling this season. If you look at the actual results this season, I don't think there's been one performance where you can say, yeah, that's a good game. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest, all 6 games have been scraped by. You know what I mean? Like, you could argue the Fulham game, you dropped points. You know what I mean? Crystal Palace. And then I said it on here. I don't think Arsenal are playing that good. You know what I mean? I don't think they got that swagger there. I don't think they're playing the football that we enjoyed last season, where a majority of fans, they kind of looked at it and thought, yo, this is a good team. And then I think for me, to win the league, you've got to play at that maximum.
Can I just ask you? Okay. Sorry, SAEED. Can I ask you, man? Do you man feel I've been harsh in my assessment in the first 38 minutes?
No.
So can I just say something? You see these people commenting things like this, overreacting and give it a rest and this and that. This is what I got to deal with amongst Arsenal fans. It's like you can't criticize. It's like you can't say, you can't question or have concerns. People, I thought I've been quite reserved in my assessment of this match so far. So how's man telling me to calm down? You lot calm down. You lot need to calm down, because at the end of the day, you can raise concerns about the club. There's no point in. Don't forget what put us in the mess 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It was blind faith. That's what put us in the mess with Arsene Wenger. Yes, he's done it before. He can do it again. We love him. The same's happening with Mikel Arteta and this club. You can ask questions. I haven't said anything about Mikel's job. I haven't said, fuck this guy and fuck that guy. All I'm saying is there's concerns. We haven't created as many big chances as Chelsea. That's all I've got to say for this season, as Chelsea.
But you can't even say that. You can't even. I think you've been very, very real. And we spoke about. Do you remember in the start of the season, we done a little preview show and everything. And my opinion was, and it hasn't changed, and I think it's been reinforced as well. Right? If anything, I said, do you remember, Turkish? I said, Arteta needs to do it again. Like, what I meant by that was, you challenged last season. You had a great season. In my opinion, you need to, because you talk about plan B, plan C. Yeah. He hasn't executed plan A properly yet, because you haven't won anything. So to win something, you need to execute plan A or make plan A better. Instead, He's making plan B, C, D's. He's twerking. He's twerking the system. He's tweaking the system. I should say. People call you Turkish, so that's how I'm
twerking the system.
He started tweaking the system way too early, man. Like, I get the praise for Ange and I get the praise for Spurs, and Toby and Matisse have spoken. FUAD have spoken about the Spurs job. In fact, if I was a Spurs fan, that last 15-20 minutes, I'm a little bit disappointed that you didn't keep your foot on the necks and win, actually, because you had them there for the taking. But maybe we'll address that in a little while. But when it comes to Arsenal, you should have consolidated this season. Instead, in my humble opinion, I think he's been trying to be over clever. He tried to be over clever with the Havertz signing. He's trying to be over clever with the Partey, and Zinchenko was inverted last season. Done you fine. One of the main strengths of Arsenal last season was we knew the identity, we knew their patterns of play, and we knew your strongest lineup. I don't think you guys know your strongest lineup right now. It's mixing and matching. He's changing formations. I get injuries here and there. But for example, like you said, if Martinelli's out, then you try to change as less as you can with the rest of the formation and the personnel. And that means Gabriel Jesus, your number one striker, plays as your number one striker. And then you bring in a Smith Rowe or a Reece Nelson, who's more like for like, actually, for Martinelli. And you keep the rest of the structure the same. I thought Fabio Vieira starting was a wild call. That's just me. I don't know how you thought about it. I thought this is a London derby. You're up against probably the best pivot in the Premier League this season. It's definitely strength-wise and fitness-wise. Basuma and Salah have been monsters. And you're playing Fabio Vieira in there. I mean, I don't know. That's just my opinion. I thought, that looks weak.
Who is he going to?
I don't know. That's what I said. I don't know.
Completely against that. Some people.
That's what I was going to say. Who's going to play?
That's what I don't know.
Question on the last week's show. I said whoever's going to play, if it's Havertz or Vieira, that is
no. But it doesn't have to be Havertz or Vieira. It can be Jorginho 6.
I was just going to say. I was just going to say Jorginho playing from the start. He's an experienced campaigner. This calls for experience. This calls for as much normality to the Arsenal way as can be. I just think he's trying to tweak too much, and he's trying to be too much of a Pep. Like I think FUAD said. Oh no, Turkish said you're not going to be a Pep. You haven't got the facilities to be a Pep, the resources to be a Pep, the experience to be a Pep. You ain't got the weapons to be a Pep, and yet he's trying to just do this, then try to do that, then try to do this. I think he's doing too much. That's just my opinion, and you guys know
that's
the worry. Fan.
That's the worry.
He's doing too much.
In chasing Pep, it seems like he is trying to outsmart one of the smartest, if not the smartest manager of all time.
That's what I'm saying. He's trying to impress. I almost think he's trying to impress Pep and others, man. Like, do your job first. Consolidate on the season that you had last season. You could possibly not consolidate on the solid season that you last season, and it will 100% be down to Arteta, in my opinion. Just like I praised Arteta last season.
I do think though, like in the end of the day, like I know obviously there's frustration from Arsenal fans, but bigger picture, Arsenal are still unbeaten whilst not really playing their best football. Let's be real. And you've already dispatched of Man United at home. And fair enough, you probably wanted a win yesterday, but it is what it is. Like Arteta still has time to fix the issues that Arsenal have right now. And I think as a broader point, I think GRIZZ is right in a sense where Arteta has done a bit too much with the Havertz signing. But I think on the other end of the spectrum, can't really fault Arteta for trying to change things and try and do things a little differently, because when you're up against a juggernaut like Man City, every little bit counts, right? So he obviously has to try and see what changes he can make in his team. How flexible can this team be to not only gain ground on Man City, but to also deal with the added Champions League factor as well?
You know what my thing is with that, Tobes, and I agree with you, but my problem with that is, man knows Eddie ain't good enough from 3 years ago, bro. I know this. Like, who told you give 14 and then come into this season with him being the backup? Who told you? Who told you sign Havertz? Who told you give Reece a new contract and not get a player that you actually want, that you can trust after 60 minutes? If you need a goal, bring him on. Who told? These are decisions that he should have made in the summer, because you're right, we're only 4 points. Well, let me not say only, we're 4 points behind City. We haven't lost a game, and we're 1 point worse off than we was this time last season when everyone was, lauding us as the next best thing at this time. So the reality is, it's not the end of the world. I've said that at the beginning, but I'm looking at it and thinking to myself, what exactly have you done when you've given someone a new contract? His position is there. 2 players in front of him are injured, and you move our striker, our best striker, out wide to accommodate for a striker that we all know ain't good enough. These kind of decisions don't make sense to me. So as much as, yes, we haven't lost, and yes, we're not playing great football, and this can be deemed as a positive that we've got, you know, however many points on the board, no losses, and we're not playing great. But it can also go the other way and all fall apart. So it's Man City. If Man City beat us in 2 weeks, we're 7 points behind them in October.
Lovely. Anything to mud.
Nah, it's not lovely, man.
Lego.
It's not
Lego,
lovely,
man.
is it?
It's lovely. It's lovely. It's not lovely for you. It's lovely for me with Turkish and Man City.
But you know what? To beat Man City, you have to be at your best even more, man. And they're a freak of nature, man. They just keep winning, and that's the problem you've got, man. You've got to keep winning. It's not thinking it's okay to be unbeaten. You've got to keep winning to win this title. You've got to keep winning. Simple as that.
Sorry, chat is killing me.
Yeah, the chat's moving mad today.
Bro, I was not asleep, please.
I had to look at FUAD and I was like, is he all right, man? Maybe they're right.
Bro, I was texting someone back. I'm thinking I'm asleep. They're like, wake him up.
Hey, let's listen. Time just flown 45 minutes in, and we've got a hell of a lot of super chats. So I'm going to get the super chats in because we've got other subjects to talk about. Make sure you hit the like button. We've hit 1,000 likes.
No. I'm staying for this one.
Get it up to 2,000. And let me go into the super chats. We've got a couple here from Elisa, big ones. He says, result all down to Arsenal. Should have been out of sight inside 30 minutes. Spurs have a habit of conceding chances early on. Arsenal set the traps in the first half with the press, but were very poor in the final third. Injuries and poor subs were the tail of the second half. Yes and no. I mean, out of sight in the first 30, I'd argue against that because aside from Jesus, you know, he should have made it 2-0. We didn't open them up at all. We wasn't fluid in that final third. We wasn't linking up well enough for me to say out of sight. But I do think going 2 goals up, forcing Tottenham to really come out, we could have picked them off and got more. But I agree with the rest. And he also adds Turkish karma. Lessons all round. Take them, move forward. Midfield balance is off. More highlighted by the fact we had no runners off the left, i.e. no Martinelli and Trossard. Mikel needs to trust others like Smith Rowe. Stay within 4 points of City by Jan. Tony in, Eddie out. Stay within 4 points of City by January. That, you know, that would be good considering the window opens and we hope to do business. But at this moment in time, end of September, being 4 points off them now and looking at our performances in comparison to theirs, we'll do well to go into January just 4 points off them. But we'll see. Thank you for the super chats, my bro. Appreciate it. Ajit says, poor from us. Spurs simply wanted it more. We had Trossard, Nelly, Rice, Partey injured, all main and backup sixes and left wingers out. Slight relief that Rice is okay. 100%. I had to go and make sure Spuds hadn't won after watching Turkish's post-game video. Chin up, my G. They were gifted a second goal. And if Jesus scores, it's peak. Dow Square, yes. But when fine margins matter so much against Manchester City, drop points at home 2 times in the first 6 games, my bro, it's not looking good. LJ says Matisse deserves. Actually, let me save that for Chelsea. Come to the carpet, playing your football, you'll get battered 5-1. Now I'm seeing field tilt tweets. Went behind twice and came back in your backyard. You did. Well done. Football, Sava. I was told 5-1. Remind me, Turkish, what did I predict? Big up to the panel. Yes, if Sava was in the prediction league, he'd have 3 points right now. Tevin says, well done, Spurs. Game should have been put to bed, but Spurs were better overall. I'm tired of the clinical edge and not putting teams to the sword. So am I. Hence why I think we needed another attacker. Sadiq says, we had every right to be confident before the North London derby. I'll do the same the next North London derby at the Emirates. Unfortunately, it didn't work this time. Big up, Turkish. Love for that, Sadiq. And Tevin again. No clinical edge, childish celebrations, lack of concentration. This guy's reminding me of other things. I'm sorry, but Havertz coming out at half time going over to Son and all of this, talking, smiling. Jesus did it with about 15 minutes to go in the box when you lot had the corner. He's talking to Son and Romero under it. He's smiling. Bro, this ain't what I grew up on. This football is different. This whole rivalry, even the darts thing that Saka's doing. I don't like that.
Nah, Turkish is sounding like a real sort of EDL Arsenal fan here. That's what you're sounding.
Man said an EDL Arsenal fan. Hey, bro, that's wild. That's
crazy. That's wild. That's wild, Toby.
Broski, am I lying though? Look, FUAD agrees with me. I can see this whole friendly rivalry thing in football now. Yeah,
there's nothing I can't stand more. Nothing I can't stand more. I think. Listen, when it comes to rivalries,
bring back the old days, eh? Roy Keane and them, man. Bring back the old days.
Ain't no old days for me. It's just how it is. You see it in the Manchester derby. Man, I'm doing up all high fives and all that. Bro, that ain't how it should be, brother. Listen, I'm all for you know your brethren's off the pitch or whatever. But for me, I just feel like when you're playing that match in particular, I ain't trying to see none of that. Not pre-game, not post-game, not halftime, not on the corners. None of that, bro. Like I actually like. You know, that's what I liked about Maddison. The way he was talking after when they asked him that celebration and shit. He was talking like, I know he's my brethren, but he's my international brethren. I don't know him like that for him to be.
Thank you, bro.
And I was like, this is the energy I want. None of this. We're mates.
You know Saka though, man.
Allow it, bro.
Saka's a bit like that though, man. He did the Rashford thing as well.
He did the Rashford one,
man.
Go get your own moves, big man. Yeah, go find your own moves. This is what superstars do. Real superstars, they get their own moves. They get people, you know, doing the big arms out.
Real superstar.
Come on over here on the wing with the nappy hair doing up copycat. Allow it, man.
No, you know what's hilarious as well? He got sent to the Shadow Realms by Maddison after he did that celebration.
What you didn't, Tobes? You didn't see Maddison's post-match interview?
No, I did. He was like, oh, he's probably still like. What did he say? Something like
he's probably still doing darts while I spun him.
He's probably still doing it. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We dropped points to Tottenham at the Emirates, and then we've got one of their players coming out and absolutely mugging our best or one of our best players. Like, a man want me to come here and be all lovey-dovey and cozy. I don't understand how you want this. Like, the mentality needs to shift.
The game's gone.
Listen, we've got a young team, and you know we lent on that a hell of a lot last season. But this young team needs to grow up fast now. These huddles when you come out at half time, you was just in the fucking dressing room. Why are you coming out on the pitch to huddle? Do what you're doing in there. Come out and be serious. Yeah, I don't like all of that because it's performative.
What are you laughing at, Toby?
Man, I love it, man.
Go swim or something, bruv, about you love it, man. You shit right about it.
I think go swim with the sharks.
Yeah, bro.
Go swim with the sharks.
Let me continue the super chats. Big up Aran, man. Long time. Big up Turkish in the panel. It's been a while. Really disappointed with our start so far, but rather start like this than end up like this. Expectations remain the same. Premier League title, Champions League semis, all on Mikel Arteta. Spurs look good under Ange, says more than you can believe. But Romero is still a bozo. He will cost Spurs in the long run. Ricky says, simple question, Turkish. Maybe our squad is stronger, but don't you feel as a starting 11 and on the pitch, we are weaker than we were last season? There's an argument that our squad isn't stronger either if we take into consideration the Timber injury. Listen, Declan Rice for Xhaka, upgrade in many ways. Havertz for Xhaka, downgrade in every way. That's how I see it. So I think it balances itself out. So I look back at the summer, and the summer wasn't great. I mean, we kind of got tricked with 100 million signing early on. Whoa, Arsenal haven't done this before. 100 million British champ. Whoa, Declan Rice. And then really, what did we do for the rest of the window while City are getting Doku and Nunes and whoever they wrapped up towards the end? The reality is, yes, early on it looked like City were weaker and we were stronger. Come deadline day, City are as strong, if not stronger in the long run with the business they've done. And there's question marks about us because of how we've started in the midfield particularly. So yeah, Problems. Mamadi says, Turkish, if Jesus scores that chance, I believe your prediction would have happened. I don't want to get on to Odegaard, but he's going to have better days. I think if Jesus scored that, we definitely would have scored a few more goals, whether it's 5-1 or not. That's another question. But it didn't happen. 2-2. TOBS, will this result go down in the history books like Lloris saved from Aubameyang a few years ago?
More salty Arsenal fans, man. I love it. I fucking love it.
Quick response is, Turks, been supporting since day one. This year's been peak. Had to give up my season ticket. Do you have any links or advice for away tickets? Want to take my girl. She's from Brum, so I've never seen decent footy before. Sent you an IG DM already. Send me another DM now. I can't promise anything, but I'll try. I'll try to see what I can do. Just send me another DM now and put quick response in it so I know it's you. Cross-come shot says 65 million could get you Kovacic and Maddison, but some club decided to buy that false footballer Havertz. When is it going to end, Robbie? SAEED waffling again. I don't even know what you're talking about with SAEED, but AMT says, Odegaard. Yeah, probably right. AMT says, Odegaard getting that yellow card early on affected this game tremendously, in my honest opinion. TOBS' internet so bad that he sounds like he's under the sea with the Little Mermaid. Is Turkish getting more ginger every time he gets stressed? Bro, usually the sun brings out more ginger, but I don't know if stress brings... Nah, stress can't bring out more ginger. But when I started YouTube, you would have seen a complete... Feel sorry for TOBS. Every time he tries to defend Romero, he keeps breaking up. Much like Romero and Spurs box. Love the show. I don't agree with FUAD saying Spurs were a better team in the first half. I thought we were better in the first 40 with the press and chances.
You know, let me say this, yeah. I think you lot were better in the first half an hour. I was more impressed with how we were reacting to how good you lot were, if that made sense. Normally, we're arse, bruv, in the first 20, 30 minutes. So for me, I think just seeing us defend like that and then bounce back after the goal, yeah, man, I'm happy with that.
Ash says, Arteta should have played Jesus, centre forward, Nelson, ESR on the left wing. Injuries becoming a huge concern with Saka and Rice going down too. Manager players way off on Sunday. Listen.
Big up Son as well, by the way. Big up Son as well. Like, a lot of people do their talking. He spoke before the game. He said that Arsenal will be scared of us or something like that. And he backed up his chat on Sunday. Two chances, 2 goals, man. I love it when players back their chat. So I don't think we shined enough of a spotlight on him. Big up to Son. Big up to Son. Really good finishes.
That first finish especially was dirty. I can't even lie. 3 man around him, just nipped in there.
Big up to Son, man. My fantasy was nice. Fair play.
Just waffling says Zinchenko was lecturing Rio about, quote, modern fullbacks, and Twitter was laughing at a 6-time Prem winner. Clamped that home. Where was the huddle this time? It was just after half time. It didn't work.
Tell him, man.
Chris says it's amazing how Liverpool went for Szoboszlai after Arsenal. We were looking at him after Salzburg. A couple of years later, not even interested at all. Brian says, question for Turkish. Where was Odegaard? In a season where teams are locking up Saka, no Martinelli, when are we going to shine the spotlight on him? Well, Odegaard had a very poor game. Like I said, he was one of his worst. But let's not absolve Saka and Martinelli of underperforming so far this season as well. I think many players have underperformed so far this season. I think probably Rice has been the standout overall, maybe Saliba too, when you look at the first 6 games overall. But the reality is none of them are living up individually. None of them are living up to this time last season, aside from Rice, who wasn't here, obviously. Romero can't defend. He deliberately used a hand in that. He didn't deliberately use a hand. Thank you for the super chat, but obviously I've got a few to get through as well. Matisse Bartlett must face his cooking. I have to save this. Turkish, we were the fans who didn't get it since the first rumor of Havertz came out. Why should we give him time when we know he doesn't cut it? A 65 million player needs to hit the ground running. It's not even me giving Havertz time. It's me giving Arteta time to prove that he has some sense to make of this Havertz signing, more so than me giving Havertz time. Essentially, Arteta has got credit in the bank going into this season. He made that choice. Well, let's see. Ash says Arteta has sacrificed exciting football, high press for slower possession-based football with more control, but way less chance creation. Problem. HW, from when I saw Rice not come out for the second half and saw Jorginho, Havertz versus Basuma and Sarr, and I knew it was a long day. The Spurs played very well in the second half and deserved that 2-2 win. Andrew says Mikel tried to big brain it by signing Havertz when Madders was available for almost half the price. Shout out to Shane. Congrats on your 2 win. Eddie isn't good enough. That's obvious. But Jesus also isn't good enough for us as a 9. And when this fan base wakes up on that, we'll move forward. I wouldn't put them in the same basket, even though I know why you're saying that about Jesus. As a 9, he's not clinical. He missed a big chance, and that's on him. But overall, Jesus is a quality player. If we had him 9 and banged them in the net, then we wouldn't really mind Jesus going out on the left or going out on the right and having a Tony, a Ferguson, or a Osherman. The reality is we don't like Jesus moving out wide because it's Eddie coming in for him. That's my perception of it anyway. Marco says, swap Win an Excel bully ASAP. Arsenal fans need to wake up. Our club is just 90% PR. John M says, yesterday was the first time I was disappointed from Arteta this season. Jesus needs to be in centre forward. That's where he's effective, even if he doesn't score. Despite this, call me crazy, but I still believe we will win the league. Come on, you Gunners. If we were to, if we are to win it after this start, and I'm not saying that as it's a terrible start. What I'm saying is we're 4 points behind City, and we're about to play them in 2 weeks, and we haven't beat them in God knows how long. Yeah, it would be some achievement, that's for sure. I think the 4-5 teams behind City are the most competitive it has been in years. Well, what's that? Competitive for second? Not good enough. Michael says, I'm sorry, but this is an overreaction. If Rice hadn't gotten injured, we would have won. Not to mention Trossard and Gabby out. Less than 10 games in, still unbeaten. Calmer. An overreaction. Like I said, I wasn't effing and blinding, but we moved. You're all waffling now. Last season, you all said he doesn't have a plan B. Now Mikel trying to do new things, and you're all... Bro, does this look like a plan B to you? What are you seeing? A plan B is changing the way you play football, not regressing to get more control and sacrifice our chance creation. What I mean about plan B is in the last 20 minutes of a game, when the opponents have either stifled you or, like Tottenham did yesterday, outplay us, do something different. And the substitutions we made did nothing different. So that's what a real plan B is. Yes, this match hurts, and I get where you're coming from, Turkish, but it's not the end of the world. Need Tony in January and then get it out despite the love. That's cool, bro, but everyone keeps on saying Tony in January. By January, we might be out of the title race. So what then? That's why I'm more focused on now than January, because by January, there's still however many games. We could be further behind City, or we could catch up to them. I guess we'll talk in January, but right now I'm raising those concerns. You lot saying Turkey should calm down are part of the problem. Apart from the first 30 minutes, they rinsed us. Also speak on Saka. He was for the majority, yeah. And like FUAD said, the penalty and the deflected goal doesn't really make up for that. But there were other players and Arteta's new tactical approach has stifled both Saka and Martinelli, in my opinion. They're not the same type. Saka doesn't get the overlap anymore as much as he did, and Martinelli doesn't drive at a defender as more, which has to be tactical. Asking players to engage in our shithousery is copium, so that we don't feel like idiots for taking this so seriously. It's fun to support, but it's not that serious. No, it was at one point in my life. RK says, why is it the highest? And actually, let me save that one for Chelsea, because I see Chelsea there. Big up, Turks. Sent you a DM. Love my guy. Turkish, you allow the panel to cook your players in front of you. What am I, their dad? Am I their dad?
Yo, calma.
Yo.
Just thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. We need to move on. I want to be cooked. I'm tired. Fuck Arsenal. Fuck Arsenal. I don't care anymore. Fuck Arsenal. Do you understand? Cook me. Cook me.
Hey, calma.
I want to be cooked now. I'm tired. I'm actually tired.
He's like, cook me.
I don't care. If you want to have your little argument, go do that. Go have that on AFTV, guys. You want to have your argument amongst yourself. This is Big Six. I want to talk about the other teams. Cook me. Cook me.
He's like getting over done with. He's like, get over done with his head.
No, I'm done.
Let me get this one in. Vibe says Arsenal had a slow start. We drew, take it on the chest and move on. Let's not sensationalize for the sake of creating content. Our fan base is fragile and we need both teams. Fragile. Get the hell out of here, man. Let's go on.
Yo, why are you so rattled today? What's happened?
No, because you know what this is signs of. Do you know how much I used to?
You know what's coming next, bro. Let it happen,
bro. 2 years ago, I used to get.
I want 7 years of this with Arteta.
Comments like this. Comments in my Instagram, YouTube. Why are you so negative? Get behind the team.
Let them hold this for the next 8 years. I want to see it, man. I want to see it.
I leave them alone. If you don't want to go and tweet about the dog, I don't say anything. Go tweet about the dog. When I'm having my opinion, leave me alone. That's my opinion. But we move. I know I've missed some super chats in Arsenal, but we're over an hour in. Hit the like button. There's 7.2k here, and let's move on to the next subject matter, and that is indeed the guy calling to be cooked, putting himself in the oven. Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 1.
Toby, put your camera on, man. I want to see that smile.
Brother. Hey, brother. Brother, can we talk?
Your internet is not. Let me tell you something. Your internet is not strong enough to cook me today. So you doing all this hiccuping over there, hiccup. You're not going to do it.
Brother, can we talk?
Are you trying to stick to a beat? Are you in the studio right now?
Can we talk? You know what? Let me turn off my camera because I want to cook you. Brother, can we talk? Because your last 2 home games, I've seen that you've had more red cards than goals.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Last 2 home matches versus
No, it's not happening.
Forest had the worst away record last season, and they came to your ground and beat you. Crazy, scary hours.
Crazy.
You ain't cooking me, man.
Watch the Chelsea game because obviously you're watching this. I'm watching this the Northern Derby, and I'm not seeing.
A long game, man. Allow this. This is microwave stuff, man. What is this, man? It's a microwave meal, man. Man got a ready meal and that, yo.
Oh, am I breaking up again?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Pussy.
Am I breaking up? Enzo. Am I back now?
Maybe that's the way Chelsea.
2023.
You're gonna be back.
Yeah, all right. So let me just quickly wrap it up on this, right? Let me just wrap it up on this. I asked Matisse 3 weeks ago, how many wins for Enzo? And he almost tore my head off. So I'm asking Matisse 3 weeks later, how many wins for Enzo Fernandez, Matisse?
I don't know. I don't care. It's a team. It's a collective. How many wins for Caicedo? How many wins for Mudryk? How many wins for all of these guys? Why are you so obsessed with Enzo?
How many wins for Pochettino?
One. So crazy, yeah.
The Magic Man.
What did you say? They've got more red cards than wins.
They've got more, bro. They've got more red cards than goals scored in their last 2 home matches, bro.
Oh shit!
More red cards.
Yeah, last 2 home matches.
Have you seen the other one? Have you seen that Haaland scored more goals than Chelsea since he's come to the league?
Crazy.
Shall I tell you the best one?
Crazy.
The best one is if they don't score this weekend, their goal of the season, the goal of the month is going to be from their training session.
Bro, you know what's an even better one? You know what's an even better
one? Matisse, we need to send them your goal from the football challenge, and that will win.
Bro. Man, you'll teach them how to
that
finish.
video needs to come out quick. They need to know. These people need to know what I'm capable of. And they need to know what I'm capable of and what TOBS is on as well. They need to see it in 4K.
That's fine. They know what I'm on already. It's not going to change the fact that your team stink.
Maybe I should be on free kicks for my team. I can't lie.
Cams was saying yesterday that apparently Chelsea legends even have more wins at Stamford Bridge than Chelsea do. Like Essien has had more wins at Stamford Bridge than Enzo Fernandez. Michael Essien, who's been retired for 12 years.
Uncle Essien, bro. That's mad.
Essien, bro.
It's crazy.
You know what's even mad though?
Makalele doing laps and getting wins.
What about before you go, Saeed? I just want to ask a question.
Yeah.
How many goals for Action Bronson?
You can't talk about him, man. When I said he was
who's that?
Action Jackson.
Nicholas Jackson.
Bro, Nicholas Jackson.
Action Jackson.
Pre-season.
Hey, yo.
Pre-season.
Crazy.
Pre-season against Colorado Rapids and that. Who did he score against? Colorado Rapids and that. Who did he score against?
I heard another mad stat. He's got more yellow cards than shots on target.
Yes.
Yes. Please tell me, did you not see the video that Son created after the Bournemouth game where they were basically making the goal bigger. You see that shot he did where
252%, innit?
Yeah. They made the goal like the size of the entire pitch, and he still didn't get the shot in.
Bro, it's crazy. And we don't like using stats like that, you know. You get me? But what's mad is that Matisse said, how many points did you say? 21? 7 out of 7, did you say, or something like that?
Yeah.
How's that going so far? Is that going good so far? How's that?
Still waiting.
Still waiting.
Haven't hit the 7 games yet. You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen.
Do you know the scary thing? No, seriously, yeah. No, seriously.
Talk to me after the 7 games.
The scary thing is, have you seen their next 2 months fixtures? Matisse, I don't know if you can remind us of some of your fixtures.
Why are you looking at the 2 months, Grizz? Why are you looking at 2 months?
Of course.
Why are you looking at 2 months?
I tell you why, SAEED, because this was supposed to be their easy start.
So I'm saying they can't even get the one. Bro, who they got next? Fulham. Fulham away, bro. I don't know if they're gonna win that game. Then they got Burnley away, I think it is, or something like that.
Someone's put it out. The brother Noah. Someone's put it out. The next fixtures.
That's after the October international break.
They're calling.
I don't know how Pochettino lasts, you know.
They're calling.
I don't know how he lasts.
Jack Carlison and Jack Shuai.
Now the Jack Shuai for me is the best one because he was bad back Shuai at Chelsea. But you know what though, man? I don't know, man. I look at Pochettino, man, and that magic seems to be gone, man. Yes, you create chances and whatnot, but I look at your team and I'm like, you've got players. And listen, no injury shouldn't be an excuse for me because you've got Caicedo back. You know what I mean? You've got players in there. Mudryk, again, I thought he had a decentish game, to be honest. He tried to make things happen. But, bro, we have to look at Pochettino now. Yes, your squad, there's players to come in, Lavia or whatnot. But Pochettino, man, is his magic gone?
Can I ask one question? You know, all these players, Lavia and Caicedo, all these are going to come back.
So many questions.
Apart from Nkunku, who's going to change their fortunes to elevate them to top 4? Never mind the top 6. Never mind a Europa League battle. Who? Nkunku, fair enough, he was brilliant at Leipzig, but how many players?
That was a big miss, though.
How many players have we seen? How many players have we seen that were magnificent in the Bundesliga? Werner, Naby Keita, Havertz. That haven't worked yet. So why are you banking on Nkunku's going to be the year? He's the one. How many strikers have you said that are the ones? How many attackers have you said he's the one? You know, you can't say, oh, Nkunku's missing, so that's why we're shit. That's why we won 3 games all year.
I haven't said anything yet.
No, I'm not talking to you directly, brother. You know I don't talk to you directly. I talk to your fan base, the gremlins in your fan base. Yeah, the ones that keep at me and telling me, no, we're missing this. Tell me one of those players, man. Washington Diaz, or I don't know what their names are, man. You know what I mean? Edison, like, I don't know what their names are, man. They just keep making up names and throwing them at me like, yeah, I'm supposed to know these names and they're going to make a difference. Fuck them, man. I don't give a shit about them. Only man I know is Lavia. Reece James is going to help at the back. Yeah, Reece James is a baller, no problem. But I think Reece James is at a stage where Caicedo what?
I can't rely on Reece James, though.
Caicedo's been playing last 3 games, Tobes. Caicedo's been playing. Yeah, Caicedo's been playing. The only person that's gonna make a difference.
He actually didn't play against Bournemouth, but he played the last game. Let's not lie.
Hey. Yo,
I thought he played well, you know. I don't know why he got dropped, man. A Kochakuku, is he called? A Kochakuku? What's his name?
Both of them like 4 different names. He said,
bro, that's the best name to say, man. He needs to have a little short name, bro. Like this brother
just call him Leslie if you're struggling.
Leslie. Shout out to Leslie. But you know what, man? I thought for me, he should have. Like, you know what it is, yeah? I think the manager's trying to shoehorn things in. Like, my man had a good game. Why is he dropping him? But then Conor Gallagher, and I did say to you guys, Conor Gallagher will stay in this team. What did I say? Did I not say Grizz at the start of the year? And everyone was like, man.
He wouldn't be in the team if Nkunku and Carney were available. But this is not important. What's important now that I can speak, because you guys have had all your jokes, right?
We want to hear from you, man. You've been away for all this. We need to hear from you, man.
Huh? Where have I been? Where have I been?
Why are you revealing destinations, man? Why are you revealing personal hotspots?
Listen, we were handed that game again on a platter. I mean, if you saw the line that Aston Villa were playing at Stamford Bridge, I've never seen so much space in behind. It's a similar kind of team that they put out against Liverpool at Anfield, and they destroyed them 3-0. They got in behind, they were clinical, squared it, tap-ins, etc. Us, we wanna overcomplicate everything. Everybody's got to take responsibility. The players, the manager, the ownership, everybody for this position, because this position is not solely Pochettino only. This position was the same position we was occupying last season. So there's some sort of consistent issue going on. And the ownership, since they've arrived, unfortunately, that is something that they've been involved in. Now, Sterling, atrocious. Jackson, atrocious. Those two, first of all. Mudryk actually was very good. I agree with you, Saeed. The only thing with Mudryk is I would prefer him to get into goal-scoring positions, because with all that pace, you'd want him running in behind. If he was at Liverpool, Klopp would be telling him, you need to be running in behind. You need to be getting on the end of things. So I want to see Mudryk shooting, but he was very creative. He set up a couple of opportunities. So funnily enough, as much as everybody goes on about Mudryk, he's the only one that can't catch too much heat. Now, Sterling, you are a professional, grown-ass man, and you 2-on-1 with that keeper. I don't want to hear nothing about managers. That is just basic footballing IQ. You are 2v1 with the goalkeeper. The linesman said it's offside. When they VAR, if he had scored that VAR check, it would have been a goal because it was onside. Jackson is running right next to you. You two are so close together. You could have been holding hands and skipping down the street. That's how close you was. You just laid that shit to him, and he can't miss. Action Jackson actually couldn't miss that if he tried. He had his own struggles in this game, which we'll get to. But Sterling, to not play that ball, absolutely embarrassing. I'm sorry. Like, you are meant to be on what, 300 and how much XK a week? Talisman, leader in the team. Gonna be this, that, and the third statistically. He was saying at the start of the season. To not play that pass is shambolic. And funnily enough, him and Jackson in this game, the amount of times they had the ball and their heads are down. There's no awareness. They're not looking to see where each other are. Heads are down, dribbling into corridors, into mazes, shooting off. So those two, poor. Enzo and Gallagher. This is where I have a problem with Poch. You are playing Enzo higher up than Gallagher. Gallagher is having more touches, more of the ball than Enzo. Enzo is making runs in the 10. He's pulling out to the left. He's pulling out to the right. And Gallagher's on the ball. Enzo should be on the ball at all times. He is the epicenter of the team. He's the one at Benfica that was playing the long balls, that was playing the progressive passes, that was doing this, that, and the third. Gallagher is your runner. Gallagher is your box crasher at Crystal Palace, who can score, who can maybe do something in the box. Why are we swapping it the other way around? I do not know. I do not know for the life of me. That's another thing I have an issue with. Levi Colwill, I thought he was okay. I thought he was pretty good with his passing. For the goal, Silva, the amount of individual errors he's making, he needs to be dropped. Silva needs to come out of this team. I'm sorry. Love and guidance. You are incredible, legendary.
He's looking at his age now.
But he has been shaky this season in terms of his errors. He has made individual errors against West Ham. He got nutmegged, I think, for the goal against Nottingham Forest. And now in this game as well, he's the one that gives the ball away for the goal. If you are going to be making those individual errors at your age, which, you know, we can see you're regressing, you're declining this season, no problem. Do the John Terry on the bench, Conte season, shout from the sidelines, instructions, coaching, all that good stuff. But in terms of on the pitch, put Colwill back at centre-back and get a left-back on, because we are so lopsided. You take a look at what the lack of, I guess, support that Mudryk has on that left-hand side. When you see the passing maps, you have 3 left-backs, use one of them. I've tried to understand the whole height thing. You know, you're playing an extra centre-back because you need height. Set pieces, cool. We're still conceding, we're still losing. Fuck that. Put the left back in, make a balanced team that makes sense with people in their natural positions. If we concede from a set piece, we concede from a set piece. But I want to see from Pochettino against Brighton on Wednesday and in the following Premier League games before it gets peak, I want to see a balanced team. Play a left back at left back, play a right back at right back, play 2 centre backs and a 4, play Enzo in his natural position alongside Caicedo, play Palmer from the start. When Palmer came on, he looked good. He's playing passes. He's looking active. Play him in the 10. That's all you've got left. Play players in their natural position. Ever since Mudryk came back into this team and he took Chilwell out from the left wing position, that left wing now has a little bit of spark to it. That should give you incentive to go and do that with the other positions. You finally put someone in their natural position. You've taken out a fullback in that winger position where we were dead. Now we've got something over there. Do that with the rest of the team. Keep doing that, because these results are unacceptable. Listen, We should have won that game. I say this every single week. How many chances did we have? You know, Villa, of course, yes, they had their chances. Sanchez had to make his saves. That happens. I'm referencing Liverpool a lot because I've watched Liverpool quite a bit. Wolves, first half. Wolves were incredible. Neto, Kuna, but they stick with it. Second half, they come and do their thing. We need to get better at finding ways to win. Right now, we keep finding ways to lose. Every single time, it's a nip and tuck game, and it's the fine margins, whether it's the final third or the defense. We keep making individual errors. We keep fucking up. So it can't keep happening. And listen, if people want to look at sacking the manager, I'm not on board with it because personally, I don't think you can sack him and suddenly all your problems go away. And I don't think he should be held 100% responsible because statistically, as Turkish was saying, you could look at the underlying metrics and it's not actually that bad. But I'm getting tired of saying that. I've been saying that for a while now. We need to pick up points. So listen, I don't recognize these results, man. It's ridiculous.
I'm hearing there's calls for Bowley out and protest plans in the upcoming weeks and months.
Bro, I saw man chasing.
That man was running away. Did you not see Egbali?
Chasing who?
Egbali.
Yeah, Egbali, man. Fator and them, man. Shout out to Fator and them, man. But them man were chasing Egbali and out of the car park and that, man.
I don't get it though, because Chelsea fans were praising a fair share of Chelsea fans were praising the work that Todd Bowley and team have done in terms of the players that they've been able to sign, right? I do think though with Pochettino, the sympathy for Poch, it should be capped because you've got a lot of injuries, and I think people really need to take that into consideration when they're talking about Chelsea right now. I think it's like 11 or 12 players injured. Like that's a lot of players missing. But like you said, it's hard to sympathize with Pochettino when he's literally doing crazy things on the football pitch. Like he's putting centre backs at left back. He's putting 8s playing into the 10. He's playing Gallagher as a DM. He's doing all sorts of things that he shouldn't really do. And I think even with the injuries, Chelsea, as you've seen, have been able to create enough opportunities to score past teams. And Chelsea still have enough quality players to get the job done against Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa at home. Like, come on. Aston Villa played Europe. They played Europe. They lost to
That's what I'm saying. They played on Thursday, bro. We had a whole week.
That's what I'm saying.
It's poor, bro. It's poor. If you got one game a week and it's meant to be an advantage, that's the exact fixture where you're meant to see it. Liverpool smacked them 3-0. They lost on Thursday as well. They lost on Thursday.
What was the Forest score?
They lost 1-0. They lost 1-0.
So not to score against Forest, Bournemouth, and a 10-man Villa.
Shocking, bro.
It's not
So the players have to take. The players also have to take responsibility because bro, some of the opportunities that these guys have is just a joke, bro. Like,
mate, you've got your Chelsea are top 3, top 4 in terms of chances created this season. 15 big chances created this season, and yet when you look at the goals you scored, it's incredible, bro. Like some of the misses I've seen from Chelsea this season, it's actually crazy.
The Gallagher and Enzo position swap is insane. Like if someone like I don't know if you're traditional British manager, Brexit manager, right, done that, we'd say we'd take him to the cleaners. But we're talking Maurizio Pochettino, same thing.
Pochettino.
But man looks like he's on Pochettino, bro, right now, man. He's smoking Pochettino, bro. That's what I'm saying. Because how is he doing this? How is he reversing Enzo, World Cup winner, playing from because we've done a similar thing to McAllister. Klopp's seen the vision. Maybe it won't. I don't know about long term, but short term, it's definitely working. McAllister was he's playing as the deepest line playmaker for Liverpool, where Enzo should be. Enzo should be running things in there alongside a Caicedo. And then Gallagher should be.
There's actually no excuse. That partnership is meant to be A1.
A1. And then Gallagher should be on the bits and bobs like he was at Palace with Benteke being your Action Jackson. Benteke and Gallagher with a little partnership or whoever whoever Palace had, because you much prefer Edouard and Benteke and them man than Action Jackson right now, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Even these men would put on their trousers. I'm being real, Tobs. I know you're laughing, but I'm trying to be real rather than just troll. No, but I'm trying to be real rather than troll. Like Palace, do you remember Palace? We used to cuss about how Palace don't score goals, whatever. Blah, blah. Chelsea are another breed when it comes to.
If he played for Palace now, you would say the same thing. You know what I mean? That Jackson brother.
Jackson, like outside the box, he's good. inside the box, it just stinks. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, what is it with
His
Chelsea
box
and
movement's
signing?
really poor.
Bro,
What
they got curses, man. They don't sign good strikers, man.
Let me ask
good strikers in.
Let me ask Tobes and Fuad a question, yeah? Do you think if Ange joined Chelsea this summer, that the story would be different, or do you think it's the pressure and maybe the toxicity at Chelsea that's the real factor in why not only Pochettino but Potter and Tuchel over the years?
It's a bit of both.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing I said even with Ten Hag at United. Like certain clubs, you're dealing with more than just kind of like the dressing room. There's so much more that comes of it, and I feel like Chelsea are the most impatient fan base. Like you're already seeing Pochettino out talks. I'm in the Matisse camp. Listen, you've got so many injuries. You've got a squad that overhaul. You've basically had what clubs do over 2 or 3 seasons be done in basically 12 months, basically an entire squad. Overhaul. None of that is going to sink in very quickly. Now, what I hear in the Ange comparisons is he probably should have some kind of things in place in terms of tactically. But as you say, they're creating chances at the moment. They're dominating possession in games. They're just unable to finish their dinner. Pochettino can only do so much, bruv. He can't take Jackson's foot and teach him how to physically show him how to hit a ball. You know what I mean? Like, bro, that's your job. You've got to finish your dinner. So, in my opinion, there has to be a lot of accountability on the players. Far too easily, I think it's too easy to scapegoat managers and just look at them and say, 100%. He hasn't got it right. But for me, I think this season almost has to be like a write-off for Chelsea in terms of pressure on Pochettino. Not in terms of, expectation. They still should be going for top 6 and trying to get Europe for sure.
Top 6?
Hold on. I have to interject. Hold on. Listen. Yes. Listen.
And guess what? The same way Arsenal fans are not allowed to change their title expectations 5 weeks later.
You don't change. Yeah. Listen.
Not allowed to change theirs. We expect recovery. These players are all touted as top 100%. Talent. They got to turn it around at some point. I'm saying.
Listen, one game a week. The aim has always been top 5. I'm not saying if you finish 6th or 7th, you're getting sacked, but the aim has always been top 5.
Yeah. One game a week, higher, better.
Bro, but let me get this right. Chelsea's not toxic right now. I'm not even giving anybody that pass. Chelsea is not toxic right now. There is not that much heat on Poch out. There are fans that rightly so are not happy with the results. Chelsea have won 1 game out of the first 6, and we've played Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, and Aston Villa, who were literally giving us chances. And I'm sorry, regardless of injuries, you have to pick up more points than we've picked up. No Chelsea fans sitting there saying we should be top of the league or we should be here, no one was expecting 6 wins or even 5 wins or even 4. But brother, can we get 3 wins and do you know what I mean? Like, come on, let's be serious now. It's not toxic. There's nobody really saying Poch out. I know what it's like for it to be toxic at Chelsea because I watched no, it's not. He wasn't. I saw the video. He wasn't getting chased. People are doing too much. Someone was trying to hold his hand or some. It wasn't that deep. It wasn't that deep. You know what I mean? It wasn't that deep. People are very quick to label Chelsea fans toxic. We are literally you don't get any worse than this as a top club unless you get relegated like Leeds. So Chelsea's form over the last 12 months has been literally borderline the worst in the league with Everton. The only teams that have been worse have been relegated. So let's not do this Chelsea fans are toxic thing. In terms of form, Chelsea are literally one of the worst teams in the league in form.
Is it true that
actually they are the worst? They are the worst with Everton, bottom.
Is it true your owner was?
There is. Hold on. There is no fan base on this panel that would be going through the form that Chelsea are going through and would be like, "Oh, it's all okay. Don't worry about it." No.
I fully agree with that. So on Turkish's question though, I do think it's a bit of both. I think it's any Chelsea fan who's saying sack Pochettino that's ludicrous at this point in time.
There's always a minority in every fan base, bro. There's always a minority.
Yeah, of course. It is a minority, I agree, but it shouldn't be an opinion that should be out right now. However, in the question on Ange versus Poch, I think Ange Postecoglou would have got more points so far simply because Ange Postecoglou's putting players in the position where they can influence games the most for Tottenham. He's not doing. Ange Postecoglou isn't playing Destiny Udogie at centre back. He's not playing Basuma in the number 10. He's not playing Romero at right back, for instance. He's literally saying, you're a right back, you play right back. You're a left back, you play left back. You're a 10, you play 10. He's putting players in the best positions to thrive, man. And I feel like Pochettino, you know me, I'm a huge Pochettino stan, but if I look at his coaching job so far at Chelsea, it's not been to the standard I expect of Pochettino. It hasn't, because he's doing things that literally don't make sense.
But when does it become toxic?
How long did it take for things to work at Spurs when he first came in?
So for me, Pochettino.
How long did it take? Till November, right?
So I would say like October, November. But even before then, we beat West Ham the first game of the season away from home. Like that was a tough game, and we played Arsenal early on that season, and we put in an impressive performance away from home. We got a point. I think with Pochettino, Chelsea versus Liverpool, that was a good start, right? That was a really good performance from Chelsea, and we saw some tactical flexibility in how he was able to change Chelsea's approach in the first half, especially going a goal down. What we've seen since then, in my opinion, from the games I've watched, I didn't watch Bournemouth, I didn't watch Aston Villa, I can only go off what I've been told, but I watched West Ham, and you can't tell me that West Ham, one Carney injury means that your whole game plan is collapsed, right? I've seen the games before that as well. Like, you need to be better in your decisions. You gave Colwell a new contract because you want him as your long-term starting left centre-back, yet you're playing him at left-back? What the hell is that about? What is that about? Really and truly. Enzo Fernandez thrived for Argentina in the 8. Benfica, I think he played 6 or 8. You're playing him as a 10. Bro, you're even his Argentinian buddy as well. You should know. You should already have a different sort of wavelength to Enzo Fernandez. You should know what position your player is gonna feel the most comfortable in. Why is he playing 10?
I think it gets worrying. I think it's very worrying for Pochettino if the rumors are true, and the only rumors, Matisse, I don't know if you know more, if you've heard more, but if you're one of your co-owners, Eged Bali or something, what's his name? Apparently he was in the changing room at the end. Is that true? At the end of the full-time whistle?
I think I read that as well, but I don't think he said anything. I think he just went in to see what was going on. But
what's going on though? Yeah, but what? Leave it to, if you got a master, if you got a coach like Pochettino, who's not a novice, he doesn't need his hand held, he doesn't need to be undermined in any way, shape, or form. Let him do his thing and then base it on his coaching. You can't be going into changing rooms in game week 6. I don't know, man.
For me right now, the main thing is the players need to take also some accountability as well with the manager, because as much as, like I said, as much as I've already gone through all of the things that I'd like him to change, nothing is to say that these changes are going to lead to these guys actually putting the ball in the back of the net, which is what you have to do. All of this build-up play, progressive passes, switches, dribbles completed, it's all lovely. If it doesn't get the ball in the back of the net, it doesn't mean anything. So the finishing from these guys up front has to improve. Every single one of them. It doesn't matter if it's Jackson, who's maybe a false 9 now. It doesn't matter if it's Sterling. It doesn't matter if it's Mudryk. Everybody needs to be finishing. Their chances are a lot better. Because
Matisse,
if you got 2v1 with a goalkeeper and you're still not scoring, I'm sorry, no one can help you. No one can help you.
I think it's not even just the finishing as well. I think across that criticism needs to be applied across the board. I think some of the defending I've seen from Chelsea centre backs in some of these goals they conceded has been absolutely horrendous. Turnovers as well. Caicedo for the goal against Nottingham Forest at home. I think across the board, Chelsea's better players need to improve. They absolutely need to improve, and they know who they are. Like the same way we praise Raheem Sterling for his start to the season, is the same way we can criticize him for some of his misses.
Can we say even that was overblown? He cooked against Luton. He cooked Luton, bro. Come on, what do you mean? He cooked Luton.
He toasted your entire left side. What are you talking about?
You're talking rubbish now. You're just doing.
I'm talking rubbish.
You're just doing too much now. Yeah, you're
talking
rubbish.
Your entire left
you're
side.
just bored. You're just bored now. Go swimming. Yeah. How are you saying he's had a mad season? How are you saying he's had a worldy season?
Liverpool's left side.
No, he didn't do nothing against. He cooked Luton Town. Let's put some perspective.
You're telling me that
cooked Luton Town. He cooked Luton Town.
You're such a liar. You're
factually.
That's crazy.
And Sterling's having a magnificent season. Get out of it, man. Even his own club reps talking shit on him, like saying he's rubbish. He can't finish. His decision making shit. And you're coming on like, you know what I mean, super like fake positive about Sterling. Get out.
Positive. What are you talking about? I said the same way we praised Raheem Sterling for his early season form is the same.
Early season form. They're 17th or something. Early season form. They scored 2 goals or something. Early season form. He scored against Luton Town.
Grizz, we have eyes, bro. Like
Chelsea fans in the chat, let us know. Has Sterling been what Toby's saying? Early season form. Game week 6, he had 1 game week against Luton Town. Is that early season form?
Okay, Grizz. All right, Grizz. I'm just making it up. Matisse,
I prefer not to speak.
Has Sterling been good for Chelsea?
He was good against Liverpool and he was good against West Ham. But at the end of the day, last couple of games he's gone off. So listen, the standards go up. He's the highest paid player, I believe. He's got to be a lot more of a talisman. Some of the situations he was in over the weekend, I mean, it's nuts. It's more difficult not to assist or score than to do what he did. So yeah.
Let's go into super chats because we've passed an hour and a half. I don't want to do a Sterling segment, if I'm honest. Didn't want to do one after Luton. Don't really want to do one now, but I'm with Grizz. RK says Chelsea always score goals, 75 plus in Roman's last season. Garbage owners in the first season sold our strikers in Werner and Lukaku. We went into the season with Havertz. This Bowley came and ruined our club and did not sign any goal scorers. Garbage owners. And he also adds...
Werner was a flop.
He adds that he's not a big fan of you, Matisse. Silva is the greatest Chelsea signing. He was free. 2 seasons best player and they are complaining about him. Talk about the garbage owner, the worst owner. I don't know about the greatest signing, but...
He was a great signing, yes, because he was free and he's done a great job. But the point is that he's dropping off. If you can't see that he's dropping off with the mistakes he's making, then that's your opinion. But at the end of the day, I saw what I saw at the weekend. I saw what I saw against Nottingham Forest, and I saw what I saw against West Ham with a goal for Antonio. So I don't know what you want me to say. Just bias.
There's a couple more from him saying that garbage Bowley will not win anything, and this guy will sit here for 3 years after spending 1 billion saying it was Roman's fault. Chelsea are here because of Bowley, not Poch. Poch is a scapegoat. And Matisse will give stats about how Roman ruined the club. Roman, even in his handicapped, is better than Bowley. Why does that, Matisse? Bro, I know it sounds like
this guy. I
can sense the anger in the way you're writing these super chats because it's just all over the gaff. Just take your time, breathe, type, spell check, then send, my bro, because it's just crazy. But I know you're angry, and I'd be...
So he's a friend of me. Follow me on Twitter, bro. I'll follow you back.
Oh, Toby, you're too much.
Why does Matisse not talk about owners? And here's the last one, I believe, from RK, if I'm not mistaken. Todd Bowley is the worst thing which happened. This Chelsea fan keeps supporting Bowley. He is an absolute garbage owner. This guy was sitting and doing revisionism on Chelsea's history. Until that owner wins a cup, he cannot talk about Roman. And Elisa says, "Free Matisse."
Let me respond to this guy because I think he's lost his mind. The point is clearly not that these guys are better because they've done nothing. The point is if you actually look at the last few years of the Roman era, we were dropping off, and the Champions League and the 6-month spell with knockouts with Tuchel is not going to change the gradual decline in Premier League performance. I can keep going through 30 points off City in the league, 19 points off City in the league. We were not challenging for the league since Conte 2017. We signed Lukaku. He was a bust. We had to loan him out immediately. We signed Werner, Havertz, all these guys bust. We didn't sign Tchouameni. We got Sal Niguez. We got Sagari on loan. Bust, bust, bust. So we didn't sign Rudiger and Christensen to new contracts. These owners now had to replace those centre-backs and the forwards. So as much as you can talk about, what is going on now? Facts. What is going on now is atrocious. And this is like a new level of shit. However, let's not pretend like the last couple of years of the ownership was we were on the right path and we were sacking managers very, very frequently. And in this day and age, with the quality improvement with the rest of the teams in this league in the top 10 and the quality of managers in Emery, De Zerbi, etc., Chelsea were going to fall in that model. That model was not going to keep us challenging for titles. So that's my opinion. You don't like it, that's your business.
We actually had another one there because you've actually gone in with the response. RK, hope you're happy with the response. I'm going to leave the other one out because I've got others to get in. Elisa says, free Matisse. Brother's life is too stressful. Free Mooley says, on everything, Enzo is a seasoned Tillemans. 106 mil. Can't be this disappointing, surely. And HW says, they tried telling us Raheem Sterling is back before he tore apart that the lot back for that Luton Town have.
Yo, allow the slander on Luton, innit? But I hear you.
First two caught, now Makalele and Salter just left. Nagelsmann and Enrique rejected us. Billions spent, no number 9 or 10. This multi-club kindergarten model for profit is killing us. We are finished. Emphasis on finished.
You are finished.
And Eli said, I was hearing Newcastle should replace Spurs in the Big Six. Bowley's Blue Brigade, I'm watching you closely.
Oh, Toby.
Speak soon.
Speak soon.
Speak soon. I think
this guy just wants to finish in the top 6 and win nothing every year. All right, enjoy that.
Crosscom shot saying
wear that chain proud, brother.
We need to remove Chelsea from the Big Six
right now, so I'd keep my mouth shut if I was you.
Man, then with these top 6 finishes chains, no trophies. It's crazy. This is
you winning the league? Are you winning the league,
brother? Are you winning anything?
Are you challenging for the league?
Are you winning anything, bro?
Don't worry about us.
Last time I clocked, there is no trophy for being on the Big Six. Do we all get trophies for being in the Big Six over the years?
Over the years.
Now I know what Turkish was talking about under Wenger when they used to hand out them top 4 trophies as well. It's mad. These people have lost their minds.
Do you know what will be madder? If you don't finish in the top 5 this season and you don't win trophies after
bro, I'll be mad if we don't. Bro, I'm mad every time we don't win the league, bro. I'm mad. I'm always mad.
Like you were telling me that you were fighting relegation and you were fighting me for saying that Chelsea should be finishing in the top 4 in January last year. So clearly you're not mad.
Bro, with the money we've spent, bro, we should win the league. But what I'm telling you is we weren't gonna finish in the top 5. And what I'm telling you now is it's not. Look at Forest still going.
What are you telling me now?
The money we've spent, we should be winning.
What are you telling me now? Because you was just about to say something mad there. Go on. What are you gonna say?
Bro, right now it's looking long, bro. Look at the fixtures. It's looking long, bro.
Right now what?
I see you in 2024. I see you in 2024. But bro, there's something that someone said in the chat. You're just here to make friends along the way. That's what you're here to do, innit? You're just here to make friends along the way. That's the problem.
When is Poch's homecoming?
You're not here to win. You're just here to participate. That's the problem. That's the issue. You're not here to win, bro. I remember when you went to a cup final and you sat on a sofa and you said you're gonna lose in a cup final before a ball was even kicked, bro. It's crazy. And you're talking to me about we must. What about you? When are you gonna win something on this panel, bro? I've not seen you celebrate one trophy lift, not once on this panel, bro.
Don't worry, man. Don't worry. Don't watch us.
And you're the one talking the most. It's crazy.
It's crazy. What did Toby say to me a couple of weeks ago? What was his famous words? Abandon or something. What was he said?
What? What are you talking about?
What was that famous word he said? He said just kind of like just allow it in it. Allow
highlights. Laurie saves and Lucas Moura hat tricks, and these were the highlights of his. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Listen, I'll take it from the rest of them, but I'm not taking it from you. I'll take it from the Rios. I'll take it from the Rios and the Steven Gerrards, but I'm not taking it from Robbie Savage, right? I'm not having it.
All I'm saying is, Matisse, 6th of November, speak soon.
Speak soon. Wow. Let me get through the last few super chats on Chelsea because we've got just under 20 minutes left. I'm going to park off City's win against Forest because we haven't got a City rep and there's not much to discuss aside from Rodri's suspension, which we can touch in on Thursday when Hugh is back. Brian says, games won by Chelsea this year in the Premier League, Luton and Leeds. Jack Schwei needs to be dropped for Broja. Silva needs to be moved to the bench. And David says, struggling to make top half, but my man is talking about coming third. Madness. RK's back. This is revisionism. Roman always signed the best. Roman, when he won 2021, he signed MVP of Italy in Lukaku. In 2012, he signed MVP of France in Hazard.
Bro,
what is
I'm not talking about 2012 though. Am I talking about 2012 or am I talking about Havertz, Werner, Chilwell, same people that people are rubbing out now? All of these are signings from previous, So we're talking about 2012. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the first part of the era or the 75%. I'm talking about the last couple of years where we had Sal Niguez on loan to fix our midfield, Zakaria on loan to fix our midfield. If you want to ignore these, that's your business. But don't be disingenuous. I'm not saying that these guys are better. These guys have been worse. These guys have got us in a shocking position. And if their project, their under 25 project doesn't work out, it's going to be a peak day, long day. But don't pretend like everything was perfect before, bro. Because we were 30 points behind City.
Remember when you stopped me earlier with the
No. You were going on for 20 minutes.
No,
I'm
tired
doing
now.
Me and RK little 10 minutes, little 5
tired
minutes.
now, man. I'm tired. Just leave it alone.
Let RK send another super chat.
We've both been battling the chat today. It's all mad. LJ says Matisse deserves a standing ovation for the amount of deflection and manipulation. He should be doing TED Talks. SAEED, take notes. And says Chelsea's next 9 games are looking peak, 6 to 9 points max. Why are they Poch out but still not Todd? Not one of their players get into the other big 6 starting 11. And I think that's it. If I have missed any, and this goes to any super chat I miss, put it in the comment section after the show, because after the show, I'm definitely in the comment section, and a few others will be either tonight or tomorrow morning / afternoon. So if any super chats I missed, to be honest, it's not just super chats. If you have any questions in general, then ask away in the comment section, because we do go through the comments after. So love for all the super chats. But I do think that is it. Chelsea and EAFC fighting relegation. We move. Big up EAFC 24 as well, because it's out this week. And so is the Big 6 Pro Clubs. Make sure you're subscribed right here. We're going to start a Twitch as well. Big 6 Pro Club starts this weekend. FC 24, led by Matisse, involving all of us on the Big 6. So make sure you're there. It's something that we've been asked to do, and it's something that we are bringing this Sunday, hopefully. You'll find that if you follow us on the socials, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, at the Big 6 Show. We'll keep you up to date. We'll release when we know what time and what day it's all happening. I hope you enjoy. Let's move. Like I said, City will park off for Hugh coming back, and then we can delve into the Rodri suspension and stuff. United scraped past Liverpool, second in the league. The top 2 is looking very familiar once again. 2 points behind City, a 3-1 win against West Ham. GRIZZ, over to you, my man.
I don't know, not much to talk about. Ended up a routine win, bit of a dodgy start. I think the focus was stupidly from Mikel Antonio, all like about Mikel Antonio's comments before the game. And like, we've had like great legends of the game like Pep Guardiola and Jose Mourinho and all these guys that have felt the wrath of Anfield. And this guy's set up a little podcast and decided to ruffle a few feathers and say about how they're going to finish above us, and you don't think Liverpool are all that. He's been listening to Toby on the Big 6 and saying, yeah, Liverpool ain't all that. We can do something to them. Blah, blah, blah. And then he turns up and 0 shots on target, 0 crosses completed, 0 aerial duels won, 1 big chance missed, and 10 times possession lost. So big man, you know what I mean? Remember, innit? Anfield is a humbler. So apart from that, I think we saw not the completed article by any stretch of the imagination before you lot all jump on my neck, or don't know if you lot got energy to jump on my neck, but we saw a much better version, evolving version of Darwin Núñez. I think he gave us such a proper number 9 performance up top, terrorized their centre backs, moving left, right, making those runs, and then just topped it off with the most delicate finish. And of course, you lot see the pass from Alexis McAllister. That's what Enzo should be doing for Chelsea from that deep line. Sorry to put Chelsea back in the mud there, but yeah, I need to personally humble myself and say sorry to Joel Matip and Joe Gomez. When I see the team, I said Joel Matip versus Antonio. I'm not liking that. I'm doubting that. That could get messy. But Joel Matip was aggressive. He was front foot. He was commanding. It was like Joel Matip of 3-4 years ago. And you guys know I've written him off. I'm shameless. But when someone plays good, you have to humble yourself and say, yeah, he was magnificent. You know what I mean? So long way to go, but no Trent. 3 games now without Trent. and people saying, "Oh, where are you going to create chances from, etc., etc." We've scored 9 goals in our last 3 games. We keep scoring 3 goals a game, man. It's not bad. The firepower that we got, for example, that first 15 minutes, it was ropey, and then suddenly the front 3 done a little something, and bang, 1-0 penalty. Mohamed Salah. You know, Luis Diaz gets the ball into Nunes. Nunes out sprints 3 of them, bros. Watch the highlights. He goes mad on a mad sprint, out sprinting 3 of the midfielders on the centre back as well. Gets a lucky touch to Salah. Salah wins the penalty. I see West Ham fans calling Salah a diver. Yeah, stop it, West Ham fans. You're embarrassing yourselves. Absolutely embarrassing yourselves. By calling Mohamed Salah a diver and no pen in that situation. Once we took the lead, once they equalized, second half was a different ball game, man. Second half we were nice. I say it was our best performance of the season in that second half. The reason why I say that is because I think West Ham are decent, bro, this season. A lot of people were talking about West Ham being in a trouble, this and that, after selling Declan Rice. But Edson Alvarez, he impressed me. Serious DM right there.
Money very well, man.
Yeah, serious DM right there. I know he gave the penalty away, but we know Aguad from Morocco is a serious centre back. James Ward-Prowse, set piece king right there, and we know Paqueta. Brothers, please rejoice with me, all of us together. All of us together, rejoice with me, and thank the Lord that Man City didn't get him. Like, would it be worth turning up if Luis Paqueta ended up at Man City? Because the guy was probably, even though we won and it was comfortable and we played, I've just picked up Nunes, I've just picked up certain other players. Lucas Paqueta was probably the best player on the pitch. He was serious. A couple of my brothers went to the game. I couldn't go. But they were talking about how good he was. Like, he was something special. But yeah, that's now 16 unbeaten in the league, 18 overall. These are serious numbers, guys. You will all support teams. You know what I mean? You will all have clubs that you follow. When was the last time you guys were like coming close to 20 games unbeaten and stuff? But the next 2 games are the serious ones, and I've been saying it. Spurs away right now is probably one of the hardest away games because of the good vibes factor of Spurs. And then Brighton away. So Spurs and Brighton, if we can come out those 2 games with 4 points, then I'm going to get a little bit giddy than I am already right now. Because next 2 games are the serious ones. Spurs away.
Giddy for what?
Giddy for a title challenge.
So 4 points out of 6, you're giddy, yeah?
7 points out of 9 because we got Everton next.
Ah, come on.
Yeah, we got Everton. I just remembered we got Everton.
Yeah, he did that. He chucked Everton in there as if. Oh God.
Well, done.
Everton's not your rival, man.
Well, you lot just played
Everton.
You lot just played in the derby, right? Toby and FUAD, you lot just played in the derby, and these lot might have been smoking you every year, but suddenly you had a little. So Everton are going to think, yeah, they can do a little something against us as well. It's a derby. Form goes out the window. All of them cliches come back, no? Or they don't count for me.
Don't put us on the same level as Everton, please, brother. Please.
No. Right now you lot got something good.
Is it
you know how many league titles Everton has, FUAD?
Oh, hey, don't do this. When was the last one?
When
was the last one?
1967.
Lies.
Oh shit!
Lies.
I don't fucking know.
You just pulled a random number out.
they won.
Listen, I don't care what you lot say.
In the 80s, bro.
Listen, I don't care what you lot say. A derby's a derby. If we get 7 points out of 9 out of the next 3, then we talk. Until then, it's a great start. It's a very positive start. None of you lot envisage this start. So you lot need to pay maybe some respect on Liverpool that we're doing all right. You know what I mean?
You know what?
I don't need to say nothing because it's just a start. You know what I mean? There's a long way to go.
So
the
far,
next 2 games are serious.
So far, you and Tottenham, and I'd say you and Tottenham have been the best of the rest.
Yeah. I'd say Tottenham because they was totally not expected from Tottenham. Liverpool, real football people knew Liverpool were going to be back. You lot playing jokes and banter and whatnot, but real football people knew Liverpool were going to be back because we got legs in midfield. I'm not going to take you back to Dominic Szoboszlai, but a certain Curtis Jones, you lot asked me, what's Curtis Jones? You lot laughed and mocked Curtis Jones last season as well.
Nah, I didn't.
I can't remember. I think it was more Matisse and SAEED than you. But
he stepped up.
I rate Curtis Jones.
I don't know, man. Rewind the tapes, people. People got tapes on you, bro. You can't get away with shit. People got tapes on you.
Did you rate Nunes? Did you rate Nunes?
No, but what did I say about Nunes? He's going to be effective for Liverpool and Klopp. I don't rate him as a striker, like my type of striker. That's what I kept saying. He's not my type of striker, but he's going to be effective for Klopp and Liverpool. And boy, is he effective. But the thing is, the firepower we got Jota and Gakpo coming off the pit, off the bench, and hungry and motivated. And you know what? Diaz, Salah, and Nunes is a lot of work. I'm not going to mention. I have to mention Mohamed Salah. I try not to mention him every week, but every week my brother breaks a record. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to go through some of the records he's broken this week? No, you lot are bored already. So I'm not going to mention him. Just to let you know, he broke another record this week. Just to let you know, he's 9 goals away from the top 10 all-time league goal scorers. Strikers, all of them strikers, frontline strikers, where he's a wide man. But we let that agenda run for another day. What happened, FUAD? You want to go toilet?
Bruv, this wide man start lowing, bro. He's a striker, man. He's
Bro,
a striker, bro.
These days you can get all kind of heat maps and area maps and everything to let you know where he plays.
This season he's definitely doing up.
No,
like half center floater.
Every season, you look at the maps and average position, and you'll see Mohamed Salah wide right, inverted right. No one remotely can call him a number 9. No one.
He's a forward. I refuse to refer to Mohamed Salah as a winger. He's a forward.
No problem. That's your opinion. The facts are he's not.
Forward.
Anyway, we move. That's now 12 games he's scored and assisted in. 12 games in a row.
Yeah, man.
Twice.
He's a goat, man. He's a Premier League goat.
Yeah, he's a Prem legend, bro. Like he's a Prem legend. I don't think that one.
I just want FUAD to look past the roles and say, yeah, he's a goat. I think FUAD, like, he's not. Just say the words.
Do you think that was disputed? That wasn't disputed.
Nah, man, this is what the top players do. Man. They perform.
Salah's top 5.
Top 5 what?
This is what top players do, man. They perform.
Top 5 what, FUAD? FUAD?
Bro, we know your internet's fine today. It's Toby. Listen, there ain't gonna be two Tottenham fans struggling with Wi-Fi tonight. You're fine. You're gonna talk.
No, I want to hear top 5 what?
You're not on a boat.
I heard top 5, man. Top 5 what?
Yeah, top 5 all-time Prem, man.
Okay.
Shit. Why'd you look down when you said that? Yo, where's Cams?
I want to know who's
too early. You think it's already?
I don't think he is top 5 in the Prem.
Shit.
Nah, not top 5 Prem all time.
Are we talking wingers? If we're talking wingers, absolutely.
Yeah. That's what we're talking about.
He's probably top 3.
No, okay, I just thought you meant top 5.
Yeah, we're not doing this again. No, we're not doing this.
I'm talking wingers.
Oh.
If we're talking players all time, bro, there's so many.
So wait, hold on. He's wingers. How's he a winger now? So now he's a top 5 winger. He's elite winger. He's number 1 winger.
Top 5 wide forward.
What players would you put above him in the top 5?
In the winger, yeah. Tell me who you put in ahead of him in the top wingers.
Players.
Like Toby just said, he's 3rd probably in the wingers list.
No, I said he's top 3 easy. I didn't say he's 3rd, bro. Relax.
Brother, he's top 1.
No.
The only winger I'm putting above him is
only really Ronaldo and Hazard who are really only having a discussion.
Nah, I'm putting Salah above Hazard. Sorry.
Yeah, but he has a Hazard agenda. Don't worry about him.
I don't have a Hazard.
I'm fully with that.
But we're not doing this, man. But anyway, but Liverpool, yeah, it's nice.
We've done this. We got the.
We're gonna do another one, man.
6 wingers of all time on the channel,
man. We've already done it. It's done. And we said we'd come back to it in 5 years.
Man, David Beckham's got to be ahead of him for me as well.
David Beckham's there, man.
David Beckham.
You know what is
bend it like Beckham. Has Salah got to bend it like Salah? He doesn't, does he? Exactly.
Bro, I'm not bending like Salah, man.
so protective.
Oh, Beckham, you got kicks in there.
I'm not saying nothing. Toby, say what you want. No problem.
There's certain people you can't mention around GRIZZ. He's so protective. Klopp, Salah,
and Trent.
That is like
you don't mind Van Dijk. You don't mind Van Dijk, does he?
You will get on GRIZZ's back.
Van Dijk. Yeah.
No problem. See what I'm saying? All right, no problem, man. We speak this weekend anyway.
No problem.
Yeah, no problem.
Listen, you're gonna let him soon anyway.
But listen, we got to wrap up. Liverpool, yeah, nice. Next 2 weeks, real test.
Yeah.
Real test.
Real.
couple big
And then
games
Grizzlies
coming
are
up.
back with his problems.
That's crazy. We've become a real test nowadays. You know?
Right, I said right now, but you didn't hear the. See, that's what I'm saying. People miss out what I say, man.
Bro, I heard everything you saying.
I said right now, Spurs is one of the biggest tests
Yeah,
right now.
I know. I'm just saying. Start
Overall, you're still Spurs.
Me and Toes would have never thought about this type of scenario.
Of course, man. Rejoice, rejoice. Your 2 month, your 2 month big boys. Rejoice.
Yeah, hey, listen.
Are you gonna say you're gonna humble them?
Okay. So we're only big boys for 2 months, but you're worried about us
now, right now, you're 2 months. You got listen. You got to be humble, man. You got to be humble.
Let's save it.
I'm not one of these fans that looks at, you know what I mean, before and after. I look at the present.
Don't worry.
Let's save it for Thursday.
Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
Let's save it for Thursday.
I've just checked. I've just checked. There's no super chats on Liverpool, but RK's still going in. But I do know Matisse has replied to him.
I responded, man.
In the comment section.
In the chat, man.
So RK, you can do that one-on-one in the chat. Love for the super chat, but we have to move straight on to Man United. To be honest, we've just hit 2 hours. So let me check how many likes.
Yeah, man.
We're not even on 2,000 likes. So we're not even hitting 1,000 likes per hour. People, get it to 2,000 likes right now. We should be done. SAEED, hopefully he can make Man United short but sweet, but it is.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve any time. It wasn't a game. It wasn't much of a game to talk about, man. One chance and that was it, man. You know what I mean? So Burnley outplayed us, but we got the one bit of quality. Johnny Evans, roll back the years. Bruno Fernandes, excellent finish, man. That was it, man.
What a ball!
Sorry, what a ball, man. You know what? He used to do that back in the day a lot, man. You know, he's got that left ping on him. So you know what, man? Fair play to him. But
what are you saying,
man, I'm not
Johnny Beckenbauer, yeah?
Bro, listen, you can say what you want, mate. I ain't talking about Beckenbauer ever again, mate. I've apologized to Beckenbauer on Twitter, so let's see, man. But listen, I think for me, it's something I'm not overgassing. I'm just chilling today. Have you noticed me today? I'm just relaxing because I know next week it could all be kicking off again. So today I've been watching everyone just getting, you know, it's been good to just relax this week, you know. That's all it is, rest, mate. You know, next week you never know what happens. So yeah, man. Hey.
Man said you just have to enjoy that meal and move on because you never know when the next one.
Yeah, that's it. Enjoy it and then we move on. We don't
savor it.
One game at a time. It's one game at a time, man. I'm telling you. I'm just looking at the next game. Carabao Cup, then we look at the next game, then one game at a time. That's all I'm doing right now.
Grizz, they've got Palace at home in the Carabao Cup, then Palace at home in the Premier League, to answer your question.
Sugar, yeah. I could get sticky plum. Sugar plum.
We've got 4 home games in a row. So
4 home games in
the I mean, let's get the wins in. Let's get the wins in, man. Let's get the wins in.
Cool. Before I wrap,
can I ask you, Saeed, what does the 3 points feel like?
You know what? I just feel like it's just relief, you know. It just feels relief. That's what it feels like. You know what? I watched Power after. You know what I mean? Tommy. You know, D-Mac was going mad. You know what I'm saying? It was all good, man. I was living life, bro. And then just enjoy
Must be
it.
nice.
Then the next day.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
What happened the next morning? What was it like in the next morning? You have
next morning, you know what I mean, man, just woke up with a smile on my face.
Yeah,
I had a bit of cornflakes. You know, watched the derby. Life's good, man. When you win a game, life's good, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Is there cornflakes need to sponsor you, bro? Because you talk about cornflakes a lot.
Cornflakes, bro.
Bro, as soon as we landed in New York, he goes, "Yo, Grizz, we need to go to what was that place we went to? The shop." Target. Yeah, you walk into Target, man's going. He picked up the biggest box of cornflakes and just dashed it in his trolley. He landed in New York and picked up a box of cornflakes.
What a ass, man. Cereal, bro. Their cereal's whack, man. And none of you's not finished it. You might have had one bowl of it and that was it. Maybe Turkish had his, but the rest of you lot just left it there.
Yeah, I experimented.
That you're gonna have.
I experimented with a Kit Kat. Yeah, I experimented with a Kit Kat. Yeah, it was whack.
American cereal is whack. I'm saying it right now. Your cereal, you guys, man. This little colours so it looks nice, bro. Cereal, simple cornflakes. That's all it's about.
I'm backing you. No cornflakes.
Would you ever adventure further out, like a Frosted Flakes or something, or too far?
Nah, Bran Flakes. Bran Flakes.
Crunchy nut is.
He's gone backwards.
You're regressing. Man's regressing.
Hold on, guys. Do we all agree? Do we all agree? Crunchy nut is the goat?
Crunchy nut.
Nah,
it's
one of
not the goat, not the goat, but one of the
goat,
staples.
One of the goats.
Yes.
That's it.
Weetabix as well. I like Weetabix as well. Weetabix is nice.
You're a
Man,
bit,
like Weetabix.
you're feeling very dry in the morning.
You like the Brexit cereals, man. You like the Brexit cereals, man.
Man's a passion cereal merchant.
Yeah, cornflakes, Weetabix. These are Brexit cereals, man. What's the matter?
You don't like any flair. You don't like any flair, any skill. Man,
No
just wants
spice.
442 cereal.
No herbs. Where's the spice and herbs in cornflakes and Rice Krispies and Weetabix, man? Where's the flavor?
This show's been crazy. I've been called EDL.
I'm a simple man.
Saeed's been called Brexit.
Exactly.
It's fucking crazy, man. On that note,
yo, GRIZZ, crazy.
Tony Pulis cereal.
Let's slowly but surely wrap up. We've still got 6.8k here. I've got 7 super chats here. I'm gonna get through them. If I've missed any more, put it in the comment section. KP says, glad to have the real Turkish back. He was getting lost in Arteta sauce. Arsenal fans need to be humbled. And Hybrid Ultra says, remember when Spurs players try and mug Henry? He ended up celebrating at their ground. I said it all summer. We still have no 8 at left centre mid. Very unbalanced. Big up to Shah. He says, big up the panel and me. We allowed the Spuds to sign Basuma and Madison. We got Jorginho and Kai. Arteta talent ID. Anyway, trust the process. When you put it like that, Lee Slim says, some of the Arsenal fan base need to understand it's okay to say Arteta has made us regress. Now, how we play now, I don't feel comfortable. It's not good. Aye, be positive. AK says, bottom left is trying to fight off his own fan base. We are the least of his worries. Sacrificial Sunday soon come. We will be there no matter what. And Stay Humble says, from Champions League to Championship, a Chelsea documentary now streaming on Netflix. No more super chats, people. Last couple here. Vibab says, we should get someone else to speak for Arsenal and Turkish should moderate. Tired of... Who's we, big man? What do you mean we should get someone else to speak?
They're gonna overthrow you, bro.
Who's we?
Yo, run a poll, bro. Yo, oh shit, Turkish has to run the poll. Shit.
I don't understand.
Yo, run the poll, bro.
Look what he said. Tired of Turkish cooking Arsenal. You know, this is the first show that I've been negative for like maybe a year.
But you ain't even be negative. You've just
that's why I done that, because I don't know. Like, I don't. Our fan base.
Everything you said, like I would defend. If you came for Arteta, I would have come for you. If it was unjustified, but it was totally justified. Totally.
Why would you?
Yo, bro, you got. Why would you got yours on? That's crazy, bro. We got these two guys in the chat who are coming for us. Like,
crazy.
He's back again.
That's why you got to be silent.
Read this,
man.
Let me silent, this, man. Yo, me and RK are friends. Man. Bowie came to buy 1 home and he's targeting 3 homes before fixing his only home. That I agree with the Strasbourg and the multi-club model. Facts. It will good night you him. What? Garbage and shameless. Yeah, you got a bit angry, but yeah, I completely agree. Listen, I don't want to buy Sporting Lisbon right now. I don't want to be thinking about Strasbourg. I want to think about the first team. That's why when we signed these 17, 18-year-old Brazilians, I didn't make videos about it on my channel because I'm not interested right now. I want the team to get fixed in the first team. So yeah, I hear that point. It's been an absolute pleasure jousting, back and forth. Nice little fight today. It's good stuff. I enjoyed.
There you go, people.
Let's do it again soon.
Hit the like button as we wrap it up, but make sure you go show FUAD some love because TOBS is back on Thursday. So big up FUAD for stepping in twice. Big up Sava for stepping in once. FUAD's channel link is in the description below. Big up TOBS as well, who's managed to stream in from wherever he is in the middle of the ocean. He is back on Thursday, and it's going to be another big one on Thursday because there's big games coming up on the weekend. There's Carabao Cup in between. I won't say too much about that. We'll talk about that Thursday if we must. I don't care. It is what it is. We will move regardless. And yeah, Thursday, 9 p.m. Love for the love. Make sure you're subscribed. Put the notification bell on. Subscribe to the individual channels in the description below and show Manscaped some love for 20% off. Use the code TB620 at the checkout. Make sure it's applied or just click the link in the description below and it automatically be applied. Grab something for yourself, for your partner, for your son, for your dad, whoever it is. I'm sure there's birthdays and big events coming up. Love for the love, people. We're back Thursday. Peace. I said we're back Thursday, but I forgot to put the prediction league table up, and Tobes was looking out for it. So let me not wrap up the show and put the table up.
Yo,
do you know how many people have clicked off the screen already? It's mad. Here's the table, Tobes. As you can see, you've caught up a little bit. You are now 2 points behind.
I'm not bottom.
Yeah, Matisse got a correct score. Tobes got 2 correct scores, and I got a correct score myself. So for the audio listeners, I'm top, 7 correct scores, 33 points. Tobes is second, 4 correct scores, 31 points. GRIZZ is in third, 1 correct score, 25 points. SAEED in fourth, 1 correct score, 23 points. Matisse is now in fifth, 2 correct scores on 22 points. And Hugh also on 22 points, but bottom due to no correct scores. So that's how the table's looking, people. And now it is the end of the show. Love for the love. We are back on Thursday, 9 p.m. Peace, people.